It's exclusive Game Day Live here on Talksport 2. Tottenham Hotspur versus Wolves. Alongside Perry Groves is your commentator, Ian Danter.
Thank you, John, and a very good Sunday afternoon to you wherever and however you're listening to Talksport 2. Not since Harry Redknapp came to the rescue after Juan de Ramos' dreadful start to the 2008-9 campaign have Tottenham Hotspur been this poor at the halfway stage of a Premier League season. 12th placed currently, and although Liverpool have found the net more often than Ange Postecoglou's side, they concede so often here, and concede big. 10 goals in their own net from Chelsea and Liverpool players in Spurs' past 2 home league fixtures alone. Wolves have also been very leaky at the back so far, 40 goals conceded, but Vitor Pereira's arrival as new head coach has now heralded back-to-back clean sheets in the wins against Leicester and Manchester United, something Gary O'Neill wasn't able to achieve in his 16 months in charge. They've also won their last 3 against Spurs home and away, as John's just mentioned. No Wolves manager has ever won the first 3 top-flight games they've had in charge of the Midlands club. Well, Spurs' injury crisis shows no sign of abating, although Radu Dragićin is fit and is the one senior centre-back available to Postecoglou. Porro and Bissouma come into the Spurs lineup. Spence is suspended and Sarr is benched. As for Wolves, well, they welcome back Mario Lemina in the next couple of weeks, but it's 3 changes from the win against Manchester United. Totti Gomez is out with a slight hamstring problem. Larson and Guedes benched. Dawson, Hwang and Beergaard are brought in. So the lineup: Spurs, Fraser Forster in goal, Pedro Porro, Radu Dragićin, Archie Gray, Destiny Udogie at the back, Rodrigo Bentancur and Yves Bissouma holding in midfield, and then Brennan Johnson, Dejan Kulusevski and Son Heung-min in behind Dominic Solanke in attack. For Wolves, Jose Sarr in goal, a back 3 of Matt Doherty, former Spurs player, let's not forget, Santiago Bueno and Craig Dawson, Nelson Semedo, Andre, Joao Gomez, excuse me, and Ryan Nouri in midfield, Jean-Luc Beergaard and Matheus Cunha in behind Hwang in attack. Chris Kavanagh is today's referee, and stand by for just about anything here over the next 2 hours. It is never dull at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. We have a fantastic view from the West Stand, high up, looking to our left at the North Stand, and the huge bank of the South Stand to our right hand side with the skywalk above it. And there's a few Tottenham fans here who say that my co-commentator Perry Groves would look great up there without a harness on a very windy day, but
what, hanging from up there,
yeah,
by his feet, is that what it is?
Something like that.
Well, we're actually, Dance, this is for the neutral, and obviously I'm neutral today.
Of course you are.
This is the what's known in football now as the Fun Factory.
It is. And the first bit of fun is that Wolves have turned Spurs around, forcing them to kick towards the South Stand end to our right that they normally like to attack Spurs in the second half of games. Spurs in their traditional white and dark blue shirts, shorts and white socks. Wolves in all magenta in their third change kit, and they're coming forward already down the right hand side. Here's Joao Gomez just ahead of the D, works it to Cunha inside the box, looking for Ait Nouri, gets to the byline, tries to pull it back. Has he won a corner, or is it a goal kick that's been given? It's a goal kick that's been given by the assistant on the far side. So 30 seconds gone, and already Wolves showing some attacking intent. 0-0.
Dance, we said obviously in transition that Wolves going to push their full-backs forward, exactly what he did there with Ait Nouri on the overlap. Just a really poor ball from Cunha, actually, just overhit it, and then Ait Nouri couldn't get his crossing properly. Just looking at Wolves, we thought that Hwang Hee-Chan would play through the middle, which he is, and for Spurs, Kulusevski will play in that 10 position. Obviously Spurs going in the 4-2-3-1 with Son on the left of him and Brennan Johnson on the right.
Manchester City are already 1-0 up at Leicester in the 2:30 kickoff. That's live on Talksport right now. Spurs coming forward for the first time this afternoon. Son, left-hand corner of the penalty area, faced up by Semedo, works it back infield. Bentancur has a drive, it's blocked by Beergaard. 35 yards out, but Spurs retain possession. It's Son again down the left-hand side. On the far side of the field from us, tucks it back to Bentancur, who's pressurised immediately by Hwang, and Hwang's gone down off the ball trying to win that ball back, has hurt himself in the process and has stayed down. Archie Gray finds Udogie, and Hwang gets to his feet very slowly. He wanted the trainer to come on.
Yeah, but you could hear the frustration from the Spurs fans because they knew that Hwang was going to get up. He was just throwing one in basically to try and get the game stopped, and Bissouma actually should have passed it a little bit quicker and got it sent into Kulusevski, because they had an overload on that left-hand side, and Bissouma got caught in twixt and between, didn't he, where he thought, am I going to kick it out, am I going to keep possession? Spurs kept possession, but it was all in front of Wolves.
Watford 0, Cardiff 1 is the early goal in the 3 o'clock in the Championship. Cardiff on a rotten run of form. No one in 9. Now Omar Risa is the permanent manager, but they lead one of the best teams at home in the Championship. And Fleetwood lead Harrogate by a goal to 0 down in League 2. Got their first win in 7 last time out, the Cod Army. And it was Callum Robinson that got that first-minute goal for Cardiff. Spurs in possession at 0-0, but a poor touch from Porro, trying to flick it out to Brennan Johnson on this near touchline, means that Wolves have a throw left-hand side, and their talented, speedy, left-hand sided wing-back Ryan Ait-Nouri will take the throw. Cunha running back towards his own penalty area, feeds it back into the path of the Uruguayan Santiago Bueno, across to Doherty, a player very familiar to Spurs fans. Had a good spell here. I think it was Nuno Espirito Santo was manager when he was here.
You have to cross yourself.
You do when you say that name, indeed.
Yeah.
Ross County 0, Hearts 1 in the Scottish Premiership. Pretty much a full programme there this afternoon, with an Old Firm derby just around the corner. Daniel Levy is here in his place in the director's box. How busy will he be in the transfer market on behalf of his manager next month? Doherty works it back to Jose Sarr, who's been preferred to Sam Johnston in recent weeks in the Wolves goal. His clearance doesn't reach halfway. Porro heads it back into the Wolves territory, but Cunha wins it back for Wolves and flicks it out to Ait-Nouri on this near side. Dawson brought back into the side today for the absent Totti Gomez. Lovely crossfield ball looking for Semedo. The doggy puts himself in the way. 4 minutes gone. Throw into Wolves. It's 0-0 on Talksport 2.
Yeah, just looking at Spurs. Dance on the front foot. They've got a high press, just set off by Dominic Solanke. And then it's Son who follows him on that left-hand side, put Doherty under pressure. Then the ball went out for Frying for Wolves, and at the moment Wolves can't get out. We had Craig Dawson, what I said before the game, they were doing it functional play, just tried to smash a crossfield pass.
Oh, Dawson does a Cruyff turn to get away from Brennan Johnson inside his own penalty area. Very casually done by the former West Bromwich Albion man. Not many players crossed that particular divide. Ball up looking for Hwang on halfway, but it was well marshalled by Archie Gray, and Dragusin wins it back for Tottenham.
Dad, if you said that to Craig Dawson 10 years ago, that he would have the ball virtually on the edge of his own 6-yard box, and he'd do a drag back and send the forward, which was Brennan Johnson, for a cup of coffee, he'd have thought he was mad. That shows you how the game is developed.
Cheltenham 1, Notts County 0 in League 2. The Robins are 6 unbeaten. Very good run they're on at the minute, and they lead there through Sam Stubbs. And Swansea 0, Luton 1 in the Championship. Wolves getting away down the right-hand side if they want a corner. The ball rebounds off the corner flag and goes just out for a throw. Cunha went down off the ball, but it will be a throw to Wolves once Cunha gets back to his feet. 0-0.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a free kick, Dance. I think it might have been Archie Gray, who was a little bit late, just sliding in on Matheus Cunha.
Carlton Morris got that goal for Luton Town, incidentally, so they lead in the Championship at Swansea. Cardiff 1-0 up at Watford, and earlier today a lot of draws in the lunchtime kick-offs at Norwich, at Sheffield United. You heard that live on Talksport 2, at Rotherham and at Bromley. Wins for Preston, Charlton and Carlisle in the EFL at lunchtime. Preston 3-1 winners against Sheffield Wednesday in the War of the Roses. So this free kick for Wolverhampton Wanderers, 25 yards out, favours a left-footed drive. Ryan Ait-Nouri is the man that's going to take it. He's got Andre with him, and also Cunha. Cunha might fancy this with a right-footed shot to bend round the wall, but Ait-Nouri would appear to be favourite at the moment. Spurs holding their line 15 yards from goal. Forster just checking his near post and making sure that the three-man wall is guarding that the way he would want it. It's rolled short. Ait-Nouri rolls it to the edge of the area. Hwang right-footed scores! What a set piece! And Wolves hit the front. Hwang Hee-chan had the ball rolled to him at the edge of the D. Spurs bamboozled by the set piece, and Hwang's right-footed shot kissed the inside of the post, went in, and yet again Spurs have conceded the first goal in a home game at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Spurs 0, Wolves 1, 6 minutes gone.
Dance, it was brilliantly worked by the three players. It just rolled to Ait-Nouri. You thought Ait-Nouri was going to bend it with his left foot. He doesn't. He just squares it right across the D of the 18-yard box, and Wang Hee-Chang, false nose and glasses, comes round in a disguise, arcs his run on the edge of the D with his right foot. He just starts the ball about a yard outside Fraser Force's left-hand post, just bends it in, comes off the inside of the post, ends up in the back of the net. It's a brilliantly worked free kick from Wolverhampton Wanderers. Andre to Ait-Nouri. Ait-Nouri squares it. Wang Hee-Chang bends it in. The Wolves set-piece coach on a massive bonus. And again, Spurs concede the first goal for the 11th time in the Premier League this season. Brilliant free kick from Wolves, brilliantly executed. Great finish from Wang Hee-Chang.
His second goal in 2 games, scored that late second against Manchester United to seal the points just 2 or 3 days ago. And a familiar tale for Tottenham fans inside this stadium. 7 minutes gone. Spurs 0, Wolves 1. And that's not about not having centre-halves fit. That's about not being alive to a set-piece situation. Vitor Pereira was scribbling notes on his notepad as that free kick was won. And I bet he was writing, I hope they've remembered. Here's Kulusevski down the right-hand side, dispossessed by Ait-Nouri, who was part and mastermind of that free kick situation.
I thought that Vitor Pereira was writing out his shopping list, Dan, so sort of like a couple of pints of milk, loaf of bread.
Kulusevski wins it back for Tottenham. Solanke, 35 yards out, running to the right-hand corner of the penalty area. Pirouettes but then loses out. Ball's half cleared by Ait-Nouri, but Bissouma quickly on the scene. Spurs trying to respond. A goal down already. Out to the left-hand side it goes, Nudogi, infield to Bentancur, tucks it out to Son, left-hand side. Here's Bentancur, into the area, left-hand side. Solanke tries to tee it up for a teammate. Bissouma does tee it up for Kulusevski in the D. Rolls it right for Pedro Porro. Porro does go for goal. It's a weak shot and it's blocked away by Dawson. And then Cunha trying to keep it in play on this near side. Just toe pokes it away from Porro, but out for a throw to Spurs. 1-0 Wolves, and it's 1-1 Fleetwood Harrogate. Harrogate have equalised at Highbury down in League 2.
Pretty good response from Spurs. Dance on the front foot. Bentancur just coming inside. Andre squares it across 6-yard box. I have no idea why Dominic Solanke is trying to lay it off to Bissouma. He thought that had made his run too early, because Solanke's a centre forward. He's on the edge of 6-yard box. He's got to open his body out, either try and hit it first time or take a touch and then get a quick shot away.
Archie Gray on halfway for Tottenham. Squares the ball to Dragusin inside the centre circle. Moves into the Wolves half. Gives it back to Gray as the last man effectively, but he keeps the ball away from Beauregard. Rolls it into Kulusevski. He was fouled from behind by Dawson. So Spurs have a free kick midway point of the Wolves half. And Dawson just rubs Kulusevski on the belly like he's a pet dog that he's saying good morning to.
It did a little tickle and it just rolled over. To be fair, I think as Craig Dawson came in, he just caught him with his elbow. It was accidental, and he's saying to him, I'll see you again in a minute, mate, don't worry about that, I'll be back. That was a Stuart Pearce little rub on the top of the head.
Free kick to Tottenham, right in the centre of the Wolves half of the field, maybe just to the right of it. Porro plays it immediately to the right hand corner of the box, and Johnson got Kulusevski with him. Johnson goes for the byline, wins a corner off Ait-Nouri at the south stand end to our right that Spurs want to take quickly. Porro's there with Kulusevski, but Kulusevski has to do his laces up before the corner can be taken. MK Dons lead Crewe by a 1-0 in League 2. 3 straight defeats for the Dons going into this one. And Tranmere 0, Barrow 1 as well in the same division. 1 winning 6 for Barrow, and they lead at Prenton Park. Porro with the corner for Tottenham into the near post. Bentancur heads it home. It's 1-1. Didn't take long for Spurs to respond. Porro's corner. Bentancur with a run to the near post and a firm header that beat Jose Sarr. And it's all square in North London. 11 gone. Spurs 1, Wolves 1.
Dan Bissouma in the fun factory. He hasn't disappointed. 2 goals in the first 11 minutes. That's all about, number one, the delivery from Pedro Porro from this right hand side, out swimming with his right foot, just makes sure he misses the first man. And Bentancur, he starts off on the penalty spot, just comes in, he rises, he loses Craig Dawson, just rises above the Wolves defence. Fantastic header as he redirects it. He uses the pace of the ball just to redirect it. Goes above Andre. I have no idea what Andre's doing, Dan, because Andre actually ducks. You've got to be brave in that. You've got to go and attack the ball. Great delivery, great header. 1-1 here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium between Spurs and Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Second goal of the season for Rodrigo Bentancur, scored against Ipswich earlier in the campaign, and that is now the 9th game in a row where both teams have scored. Here come Wolves with Cunha trying to get cross from the dead ball line, and Bissouma tucked in behind, and now Wolves have a corner away to our left hand side at the north stand end, but it's actually been given us offside against a Wolves player early in the move, so Spurs in the end have themselves a free kick. So that's 25 goals at this stadium in the last 3 and a bit games.
Both set-piece coaches will be happy, won't they? They're sitting there back thinking, yep, I've done my job,
yep,
over to you boys. But just look at that, you know, we say the modern day defending where there's 3 Spurs players on the penalty spot. Bentancur, it's just a block that goes on, you know that's coming, and then Craig Dawson's got to do better, he's the centre half, but Andre has ducked. I know he's not the big, you can still use your body, you can still make it difficult for the person who's coming to rise above you.
Cunha wins it back for Wolves, centre of the Tottenham half, tries a little reverse ball up to João Gomez, comes back to Cunha, has a drive ambitiously from 25 yards, and it sort of skidded wide, bit of a daisy cutter from Cunha. You're listening to Tottenham 1, Wolves 1 on Talksport 2 with Sky Sports. Don't forget you can stream the biggest Premier League games available with no contract on now, like West Ham versus Liverpool, live today. Search Now Sports. In the Championship, Oxford have taken the lead against Plymouth Argyle at the Kazam Stadium. Kieran Brown putting Oxford ahead against Plymouth. Wayne Rooney having a rotten time of it, rock bottom, and conceded 10 more goals in the Championship than any other team. Wolves have now conceded 41 in the Premier League with that equaliser that Bentancur has just powered in for 1-1. Dawson wins it back and rolls the ball back to Jose Sarr. Christoph Ratajski is very close to knocking out Kevin Dutz in round 3 of the PDC World Darts Championship. We have watch-alongs this afternoon on the Talksport Darts YouTube channel. That's where you'll pick up commentary from Chris Mason, Paul Nicholson and Mark Wilson. And there's one more game to come there at Ali Pali this afternoon. In League 1, Crawley lead 1-0 at Exeter and Burton lead 1-0 at Huddersfield. Huddersfield, third best home record in the division, and Burton haven't won in 5. Free kick to Tottenham, midway point of their own half. Nearly a quarter of an hour gone. And we've already packed loads of action into that here on Game Day Exclusive. One apiece. Udogi goes in between 2 Wolves players. One of them, Beargard, just brings him down. Southampton lead at Crystal Palace. Tyler Dibbling puts the Saints ahead. No win in 9, remember. Juric, the new manager. Will this be his first success? They lead at Selhurst Park. And Bristol City lead Portsmouth by a 1-0 as well in the Championship. They got their first win in 5 last time out, the Robins. Here's Cunha for Wolverhampton Wanderers, rolling it back to Bueno, and then João Gomez finds Doherty. Spurs trying tigerishly to win the ball back, but Wolves have done enough. Cunha draws Bissouma into the challenge and then skips past him, moving up to the edge of the area, rides the challenge to Kulusevski, then trying to thread it through to Beargard, and as he did so he was caught, and the referee says that's a free kick, and another dangerous set-piece position for Wolverhampton Wanderers here. 1-1.
Yeah, it's really good play from Cunha, even in playing in this first 16 minutes, Dance. He's looked like a Rolls Royce. Every time he's got the ball, he's got himself on the turn. He's had a couple of drag backs. This time just cuts in from the left on his right foot. Kulusevski is trying to help his defence out. He slides in, catches his standing foot. Chris Cavan, the referee, tried to play an advantage, didn't materialise. Quite rightly, pulls the ball back. So now we'll see what they can conjure up. Again, it's the same 3 players over it of Andre, Aït-Nouri and Matthias Cunha.
But this is on the left-hand side rather than the right where the first goal came from. Spurs have a 4-man wall just ahead of the penalty spot. Andre has moved away, so it is Cunha or Aït-Nouri to take this free kick. Motherwell 1, Rangers 0 in the Scottish Premiership. Rangers lost to St Mirren last time out. Back-to-back defeats? Surely not. So Cunha, hands on hips. So too Aït-Nouri. There's a draft excluded behind that wall as well. Forster standing just in front of his goal line. Cunha's going to go for it right-footed, and it hits the wall. Comes out to the left-hand corner of the box, and Cunha again floats the ball deep to the far post beyond Dawson. In fact, there's a flag up for offside against the Wolves player. Spurs get a free kick inside their own box, 1-1.
Bentancur did brilliantly there, dancing on the left edge of the wall. Wang Hee-Chang was trying to be a nuisance, obviously get into Fraser Forster's eye line. That's what Cunha's trying to bend his free kick in. And Bentancur made sure he stayed nice and big, just made sure he headed the ball away. And as the ball comes back out to Cunha, it was a good line from Spurs. Then they've played 3 Wolves players offside. I've been really impressed with Spurs pressing, Dance, actually, when Wolves have been trying to play up from the back with the 3 centre-halves. Solanke's been the first one to set off the press.
That's the thoughts of Perry Groves alongside me, Ian Danter. So at the moment, it's decent for the away teams in the Premier League this afternoon. Manchester City leading at Leicester. That was a 2:30 kick-off, so that's now reached half-time. Southampton 1-0 up at Palace. Forest have just gone 1 up at Everton. Chris Wood scores again. Everton 0, Nottingham Forest 1, Fulham 0, Bournemouth 0. And here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, it is Spurs 1, Wolves 1. Spurs were behind again at home, but have themselves level through Bentancur's header. Reading 1, Mansfield 0 in League One. Royals got their first win in 5 under Noel Hunt last time out. And Wolves are winning possession inside their own half of the field. Andre trying to turn away from Solanke, does well actually, and finds Nelson Semedo, who burst toward the halfway line, was clipped by Bentancur, and Wolves take the free kick quickly, swinging it out to the left-hand side, looking for Ait-Nouri, but that was good anticipation by Pedro Porro, who nodded it out of play for a Wolves throw, 1-1.
One thing I've noticed, Dance, about Wolves in possession, they move the ball a lot quicker than what they did under Gary O'Neill. It's all 1 and 2 touch. The 2 midfield players, Joe Gomez and Andre, just make sure that they help the ball on.
Here's Ait-Nouri down the left-hand side for Wolves by the corner flag. Another very deep cross. Semedo's having to run outside the penalty area to retrieve it. The doggy is back, and he just couldn't get the ball under control, and by the time he was anywhere near getting under control, it had dribbled over the touchline on the far side for a Tottenham throw. 19 minutes played on Talksport 2. Spurs 1, Wolves 1.
It's been an excellent tempo to the game, Dance, isn't there? Like Spurs closing down on the front foot, Wolves they're quick passing, Wolves actually committing players forward. We saw there with Ait-Nouri on left hand side. When you look up, Wolves have got 3 or sometimes 4 players in the box, so Wolves haven't come here to sit back and try and just go for the draw.
Throw that Son wants to take, but Fraser Forster has gone down inside his own penalty area. Didn't see any collision that brought that injury on, and Ange Postecoglou must be wondering what on earth is going on. An injury to Fraser Forster. Brandon Austin is the goalkeeper on the bench for Tottenham Hotspur. Still no Vicario, out till certainly the early part of the new year with the ankle injury that he sustained, and so Fraser Forster is getting some treatment, and it looks to be his left calf.
I think might be his left knee. It's his left knee or his left groin. So because he just went down, so I don't know if he just tried to move along his line, and as he's tried to push off with his left foot, so I don't know if he's done his left knee. Just saying to the first physio, probably asking if there's any really serious damage there. He'll give it probably 5-10 minutes. The physio will probably stay behind the goal, just so they have a bit of communication. It looks like at the moment that he's going to be all right.
So in the end, it will be a throw to Tottenham midway point of their own half. Down the left-hand side, the far side of the field from us, the east stand side. Destiny Udogie going to get the ball back into play. Forster's back on his feet, just thumping his left foot into the ground. Just might be a little strain. We'll see how that goes for him. Meanwhile, Son Heung-min battling for the ball on halfway and does well. Spreads it right to Porro. Further down the right-hand side, but telegraphed the pass to Kulusevski, picked off by Ait-Nouri. But back came Brennan Johnson to slide in on Ait-Nouri. Now Kulusevski has it down the right-hand side for Tottenham, trying to go on the outside of Cunha, but Cunha did really well. Got himself in between man and ball and won it back. Ait-Nouri rolls it back to Cunha in the left back position, now drives it long downfield looking for Hwang. Dragusin can only head it out of play for a Wolves throw. 1-1.
Yeah, just looking at Matthias Cunha there, he just dropped back into the left back position, and his first look was for Hwang Hee-Chang, who's up front, because Dragusin and Andre and Gray are right on the halfway line, so he's just trying to feed it in behind. Just earlier when it came out to Pedro Porro, Brennan Johnson actually made a run diagonally infield where I think he should have just stayed out because Spurs didn't have any width. That's why Pedro Porro got himself caught in possession by Ait Nouri.
Spurs 1, Wolves 1. Talksport 2, approaching the midway point of the first half here in North London on a cold but still afternoon. Perfect for football. Ball's rolled back to Dragusin. Gray in the centre circle now for Tottenham. We'll just roll it out left to Udogie, faced up by Beargard. Back it goes to Archie Gray once again, still a teenager and still playing in this unfamiliar centre-half position. Lovely ball to find Brennan Johnson, swings the ball across the face of goal, and Bueno will just deflect it behind off his right shin, out for a Tottenham corner. They scored from the last one, 1-1.
Yeah, it's a great ball out from defence from Dragusin. Out to this right-hand side to Brennan Johnson, just trying to whip the ball in the near post. To be fair to Santiago Bueno, he made sure he just stayed in the middle of the 6-yard box and marked the area. Just got the ball away for a corner for Spurs on their right-hand side,
which Porro will take. Down to our right. Right-footed outswinger from Porro. Up go the heads again. Dragusin heads wide. This one around the penalty spot. Got it well. Did the Romanian centre-half. Planted the header downwards. It bounced and went no more than half a yard wide of Jose Sar's right-hand post. Goal kick, 1-1.
Again, it's the three Spurs players lined up on the penalty spot. This time it's Dragusin. He's being picked up by João Gomez. It was really clever from Dragusin because João Gomez got dragged underneath the ball and he just gave him a little shove with his left forearm, just put him underneath the ball. I actually thought Dantzic was going to nestle low down on Jose Sar's right-hand side in the back of the net. Just goes agonisingly wide, probably about 6 inches. Again, Spurs with a high press. Wolves trying to play out from the back. And Spurs have been very, very impressive with their pressing game. It's been very coordinated. It's like Solanke goes first, then Son on that left-hand side, then Brennan Johnson, then Kulusevski's in next. So I think Wolves have got to try and just mix it up a little bit and maybe go long a couple of times.
1-1 here, 24 minutes gone. It's 3 sets apiece between Krzysztof Ratajski and Kevin Dutz in the PDC World Darts. You can pick up commentary of that on our watch-alongs on the Talksport Darts YouTube channel that we've just set up. Lots of great content on there. Watch-alongs of all the games, interviews with the great and the good at Alexandra Palace. And Krzysztof Ratajski, who went off like a train in that third round tie, has now been pegged back by the man who knocked out former world champion Michael Smith. That's 3-3. 1-1 here with Wolves in possession. Right hand side with Nelson Semedo. Doherty tucks it back to Bueno on halfway. Dawson showing just to his left. Just plays a short pass into the feet of Cunha, just over the halfway line. Another short pass finds João Gomez. It was tricky for him to control, but he did well under pressure from Kulusevski and Dragusin. Now Dawson has it back inside his own half. Hits a diagonal ball inside to out looking for Semedo, but Udogie will take care of that. He's running back towards his own dead ball line, and he's been pressurised by Beargard. Hits the ball against Beargard. Kept in play by Beargard, right hand side, but across the face of goal by Semedo and deflected behind for a corner kick. Wolves have a corner kick away in the northeast corner. 1-1 here.
Well, that wasn't your destiny, Udogie, because you should have actually just put the ball off for a throw-in, just trying to overplay as he's pocket picked by Beargard. Comes to Semedo, just tried to roll the ball across the 6-yard box, gets a block at the near post. Corner for Wolves over on their right-hand side.
Ait Nouri to take it, left-footed in-swinger, up go the heads, and it's Bentancur who scored the equaliser, getting the defensive header in this time from a corner to get Spurs out of trouble. And then there's a foul and a yellow card to be administered to Andre for a challenge on Kulusevski, or was it Beargard? As Spurs tried to launch a counter-attack. 26 minutes gone, 1 apiece.
I think that's an accumulation of fouls. He's had 2 or 3 just little trips or niggle little fouls. This time Beargard gets himself wrong side of the ball, just puts his hands around Kulusevski's throat, pulls him to the ground. Quite rightly, Chris Cavan, the referee, gets his first yellow card out. So Bellegarde's got to be very, very careful.
Well, we've seen him get red carded before, Perry. You might remember at Luton last year, Bellegarde got a red card for Wolverhampton Wanderers. 1-1 here, 1-1 at Whaddon Road. Cheltenham 1, Notts County 1 in League 2. And in the Premier League, Forest leading at Everton. Southampton leading at Palace. Manchester City 1-0 up at Leicester at the break. That's live on Talksport this afternoon from the King Power Stadium. Hibs lead Kilmarnock in the Scottish Premiership by a 1-0. And Motherwell 1, Rangers 0, Hearts 1-0 up at Ross County. The other scorelines we have in Scotland at the moment. Celtic, of course, 12 points clear at the top. Forster, who had that slight injury concern earlier, doesn't appear to be too badly injured as he thumps it clear. Kulusevski away down the right hand side, tries an early cross, it's blocked by Wolves at source, and the visitors try and get the ball away, but Aït-Nouri can't get his head to the ball. Kulusevski, although he can't keep it in play, the Swede, on this near side. So another throw to Vitor Pereira's Wolverhampton Wanderers in their change strip of this sort of purple magenta that they're wearing this afternoon. Shorts, shirts and socks. Dawson almost backheeled the ball out of play, and he gets nudged by Solanke down by the corner flag. Very quick the assistant was to raise the flag to tell our referee that it's a free kick to Wolverhampton Wanderers. Our referee today is Chris Kavanagh. 1-1 approaching the half-hour mark.
Just unnecessary foul from Dominic Solanke, because Craig Dawson's in a bit of trouble. He's right in the corner flag. Then what you do is make sure you stand a yard away, so you don't give Craig Dawson a chance to go down. Just nudged him in the back, he falls down. Jose Sarr comes up, moves the ball 6 yards further than what it should be, and that allows Wolves to get themselves out of trouble.
Wolves trying to win the ball just inside the Tottenham half. Cunha heads the ball up in the air, tries to bring it down on the chest, but Bissouma did enough to put him off. But the ball's out of play for a throw to Wolves, just in between the two technical areas. Both managers stood at the edge of theirs. Postecoglou hands in pockets, Pereira a little bit more demonstrative. Grimsby 1, Port Vale 0 down in League 2. Port Vale no league win in 6. They've dropped off a bit. They were top Darren Moore's Vale for a time, but they're behind at Blundell Park. Here's Solanke at 1-1 for Tottenham, up to the edge of the area. Kulusevski pulled back, Solanke's going to run into it. Oh, he and Bentancur getting each other's way, and the offside flag's gone up anyway. Solanke and Bentancur both going for the same ball inside the penalty area, and they just Keystone Cops, Laurel and Hardy style, collided with each other instead, and nobody got the ball.
Dan, you know what? That wouldn't have been offside, because it was a tight one on Kulusevski. It was a brilliant play from Kulusevski and Brennan Johnson, really tight on this left-hand side into Solanke, back to Johnson. Then Kulusevski gets it. There's absolutely no communication whatsoever between Dominic Solanke and Bentancur. And Dominic Solanke, actually, I think that goes down as an interception, doesn't it? He actually stops a Goldstone opportunity because he's just completely barged Bentancur out the way. And if they'd have got a shot off that and it had gone in, that would have been the goal, because Kulusevski wasn't offside.
Bellegarde goes down wanting a free kick, no foul given. Spurs coming forward, it's 1-1, half an hour gone at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Son carrying the ball all the way down the left-hand side. Support from Udogie. Doherty slides in, hits it against Udogie, and that will be a throw-in to Wolverhampton Wanderers in their right-back position. Celtic lead St Johnstone by 1-0 in Scotland, looking to extend their lead ahead of the Glasgow derby on New Year's Day. And Dundee lead at St Mirren, the team that beat Rangers last time out in Scotland.
Just looking at Ange Postecoglou, Dance, he's gone a bit rogue, isn't he? Because where's the manager's issue? Where's the manager's issue? Black shoes with the white soles.
Yeah, we've all got those. Crystal Palace equalise against Southampton. That's 1-1 at Selhurst Park. And Bristol City 2-0 up on Portsmouth in the Championship. Kevin Dutz has come from behind to beat Christoph Ratajski at Ali Pali and go through to the round of 16. It's Trevor Chalobah who has got the equaliser, but VAR are checking it. Could be goals as they're ruled out on Talksport 2. 1-1 here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Dawson rolls the ball back to Jose Sarr. Wolves playing the ball out their own penalty area, and Andre kept the ball away just from Kulusevski. Now Wolves have it with Cunha, their most creative talent. The number 10, just over the halfway line, plays a short pass into João Gomez, tries to clip it over the top, down the left-hand side of the box for Hwang. Hwang will lay it back to Ait Nouri, 3 waiting for a cross. Ait Nouri finds Cunha, left-hand corner of the box. He tried a quick pass back to Ait Nouri, but Dragusin intercepted. In goes Cunha trying to win it back. Poor clearance from Dragusin, straight to Hwang, down the left wing. Now Spurs have got players in the box to defend their areas. Wolves will try again. Cunha, inside left channel, out to the left wing for Ait Nouri. Elects not to cross first time. Faced up by Porro. Holds the ball up, then he rolls it back into midfield for Craig Dawson. Short pass into Cunha. Asked a lot of him, but he did well to get it back to Dawson. And now Ait Nouri gives it back to the centre half. You're listening to Tottenham 1, Wolves 1 on Talksport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Enterprise has vans of all shapes and sizes, so if you've got a plan, they've got a van. Beargard out to Semedo, right-hand corner of the penalty area. Beargard's gone on the overlap, and Semedo tried to find him, but Udogie put a good block in. But Semedo's gone to retrieve the ball. 12 minutes to half-time. Now Beargard comes in field from the right-hand side. Leyton Orient 1, Cambridge 0. That's been confirmed as the equaliser for Crystal Palace against Southampton, by the way. That Trevor Chalobah goal. Leyton Orient 7 unbeaten, going very well under Richie Wellens. Cambridge no winning 4 conversely, so the O's in front of Brisbane Road. Dawson for Wolverhampton Wanderers. 1-1 here. Rolls the ball back to Jose Sarr. Ian Danter and Perry Groves with you this Sunday afternoon game day exclusive on Talksport 2. Cunha tries to cushion a pass down for Hwang, but the clearance from Dragusin, played it blind, played it straight into the centre circle for a purple Wolf shirt. Ait Nouri down the left hand side for the visitors. Support from João Gomez, tucks it back to Dawson. Dawson thought about a cross into the box diagonally, thought better of it, and laid it off back into the square to the former Spurs man Doherty, and then all the way back from Bueno to his keeper Sarr. 1-1.
Yeah, it's a good defensive shape there from Spurs. Just make sure they got the numbers back. Actually went nice and compact.
Now Semedo just got in behind Udogie for a moment down the right hand side. Goes down, claims he was fouled, but the assistant who was right next to that incident saw no problem with it. But Spurs wasteful in getting the ball away, and Wolves have it back. Cunha and then Beargard. Semedo's now trotting back from an offside position, having originally gone down. Exeter 1, Crawley 1. Exeter equalise. A shot from the edge of the area, fizzes just wide from Cunha, and it stays 1-1. But that was really fiercely hit by Matheus Cunha. But it's a goal kick to Tottenham.
Dance, every time it comes into Matheus Cunha, looks like something's going to happen. I know he's playing on the left, just behind Wang Hee-Chang, but he's got the freedom to go and roam. He goes himself in that 10 position, gets himself on the half turn, takes a touch with his left foot, and with his right foot he's trying to whip it across Fraser Forster into his far post, goes a yard wide.
Cunha trying to play it through to Hwang inside the area. Half cleared by Dragusin, straight to Ait Nouri, left hand side. Cunha lays it back to Ait Nouri, left hand corner of the penalty area now. Just sends it back 5 or 10 yards to João Gomez, but then Ait Nouri has it again, looks for Gomez in field, into the area. Ait Nouri trying to play it across the face of goal. Good touch from Dragusin, helped out by Porro, and then Bissouma gives it back to Porro right in his own dead ball line, and he clips the ball against João Gomez and wins a throw. They are living on their nerves at the back at times, our Tottenham Hotspur. Bristol City 3, Portsmouth 0. Rob Dickey gets the third, the first 2 from Anis Mehmeti. Motherwell 2-0 up on Rangers up in Scotland. And we are 9 minutes indeed to half time here on Talksport 2 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And since those goals, it's been nip and tuck, Perry Gross, between the two.
Yeah, both teams committing men forward, both teams playing with ambition. So Wolves' defensive structure is really good when they're out of position. They make sure they get nice and tight. They basically go into a 5-2-3 and they just make sure that everything is nice and compact, with João Gomez and Andre just sitting in front of the three centre halves.
Wolves just keeping the ball away from Solanke. Took one touch that actually gave Solanke the chance to close him down still further. Spurs have won it back. Solanke, edge of the area, tries to feed it through to Kulusevski. Inside the area, Son, turned behind by Semedo. Corner, currently Tottenham 1, Wolves 1. For the latest odds, head to William Hill, the official betting partner of Talksport 2's Premier League coverage, where right now you can get Tottenham to win at 4-5, Wolves to win at 17-5, the draw priced at 5-2. That's all thanks to William Hill. It's 18+. BeGambleAware.org.
That all came from, again, Wolves trying to overplay from the back. Craig Dawson wrote Jose Sarr hesitated, took too many touches. Solanke went to close him down. Jose Sarr tried to play it out to his right-hand side. Doherty closed down by Son. Corner for Spurs on their left-hand side.
To be taken by Son, right-footed in-swinger into the near post, volleyed clear at the back for Wolves by Hwang, his compatriot, but Son finds Bentancur down the left-hand side of the box, wraps his foot around the ball and tries to cross, but it's too deep and out of play, and there was a flag up for offside anyway. Swansea get an equaliser against Luton, so too do Watford against Cardiff in the Championship. Both of those games are 1-1. Bolton have taken the lead against Lincoln in League One. Aaron Collins with another goal for the Trotters, and Crawley are back in front at Exeter. Malanik Ali had got Exeter back on terms. Chesterfield lead at Bradford down in League 2, and Tranmere 1, Barrow 1. Amari Patrick with a penalty getting Tranmere level at Prenton Park. Dragusin lofts the ball back to Forster. Not a great deal of pace on that. Forster's clearance is low, but it actually finds its way, fortunately for Spurs, through to Kulusevski, who fires it out to the right wing, and Brennan Johnson driving at Dawson, getting to the dead ball line, wins a corner off Craig Dawson at the south stand end. We've got 6.5 to the break, 1-1.
Dance, that was a good bad one from Fraser Forster.
Corner kick to the far post, headed up in the air by Solanke. Dawson gets it half clear. Kulusevski knocks it down for Bissouma at the edge of the area, but he drives it over the top. Poor effort from Bissouma, just sat up for him a little bit, but he couldn't get his knee over the ball. They're back underway over on Talksport at the King Power Stadium. It was as it was at half-time. Leicester City 0, Manchester City 1. Savino with the first half goal. Sam Matterface and Stuart Pearce there for us. Don't forget, there's more live football on Talksport tonight. From the Championship, Leeds have been temporarily deposed at the top of the Championship at that point that Sheffield United got. You heard that live here on Talksport 2. They go to Derby, and that's live on Talksport. Tea time, 5:45. Here come Wolves at 1-1 with Ryan Aït-Nouri charging down this left-hand side as they attack the north stand. Feeds it further down the left for Hwang, who stayed onside across the face of goal, but comfortably cleared by Gray inside his 6-yard box. Out of play for a throw.
Dance, that was brilliantly played from Wolves. It was their own goal kick. Jose Sarr just plays it short into Matt Doherty. He goes into Andre, who's been really good in the midfield for Wolves, and then within 3 passes right to Aït-Nouri on the left wing position. It's just a difference again in, you know, the style from Wolves for under Vitor Pereira. You can tell that he wants them to play out for the back, and he meant about confidence, didn't he, before the game? And you can tell this Wolves team are brimming full of confidence. They've overplayed a couple of times, but it still hasn't stopped them.
Colchester 0, Doncaster 1.
Offside.
10 unbeaten Colchester, but Doncaster lead, and Cheltenham 1, Notts County 2. Notts County back in front down at Wadden Road. 1-1 here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. 5 minutes to half-time. Wolves get the benefit of another ricochet, this time from João Gomez, who's got it on halfway now. Semedo in acres of space on the right-hand side. It's been floated across to him. First touch, gets it under control, fires it into Cunha. Cunha at the edge of the area, tees it up for Aït-Nouri. Aït-Nouri tried to fire it back into Cunha's path, who'd started to make a run into the box, but away comes Tottenham Hotspur. 4-on-4 for the moment, as Kulusevski is away down the right-hand side. Solanke, Johnson and Son are with him. Plays into the area. Johnson goes down under pressure. Penalty! Brennan Johnson went down. Andre was the player who came across to try and nick possession. Down went Brennan Johnson, and Chris Cavender did not hesitate. He's pointed to the spot, and Spurs have a penalty kick.
Oh, Andre, I don't like the way that you move, because it's an unnecessary challenge. because Brennan Johnson just comes in on the underlap. It's a great weighted pass from Kulusevski into his pass. Brennan Johnson does really well. We call it, Dance, the Anthony Gordon, where you put your right foot across the defender and he entices Andre in to make the challenge. This isn't to be overturned because they'll go with referee's call. Just very, very clever from Brennan Johnson. Unnecessary challenge from Andre.
Son Heung-min will have the penalty. Fulham have taken the lead against Bournemouth. Raul Jimenez has put the Cottagers in front. And elsewhere, Exeter 1, Crawley 3 now in League One at St James Park. And Cardiff back in front at Watford. They now lead 2-1. Callum Robertson's got his and Cardiff's second of the afternoon. It was Czech Fatante that had equalised for Watford. Only now is Jose Sarr slowly walking back to his goal line and kicking his heels on the posts, taking as much time as possible to try and unsettle Son Heung-min, who's not looking at the goalkeeper. He just placed the ball very calmly on the spot, doing up his socks. And now Sarr will wait on his goal line, and Son Heung-min finally steps away, backs away 3 or 4 paces from the ball. A chance for Spurs to come from behind to take the lead here, just shy of half-time. Son against Sarr. Right-footed for the Korean coming up. The stadium goes silent. Up steps Son, right-footed, saved! Sarr plunged to his right and made the stop. Play continues, left-hand corner of the area. Bentancur gets robbed by Hwang. And Jose Sarr hasn't kept a clean sheet today, but he's kept Wolves in it right on half-time.
Dance is a brilliant save from Jose Sarr. You said they didn't make eye contact, but the way that Son run up to the ball, there was only one area that was in the go. That was to Jose Sarr's right-hand side. It's a lot of pace on the penalty. Brilliant save from Jose Sarr.
Cunha, as Wolves try and counter-attack. So 1-1 it remains on Talksport 2 as we approach half-time. Ait Nouri finds João Gomez. Andre, who'll be breathing a huge sigh of relief that hasn't led to 2-1. It was his foul that led to the penalty. Bradford City equalise at home to Chesterfield in League 2. That's 1-1. Now here's Ait Nouri, just shy of the halfway line. Tucks it infield to João Gomez. Little drop of the shoulder to get away from Brennan Johnson. Back it goes to Dawson on halfway. Andre now picks it up. Options left and right. Fires it out left to Cunha. Keeps it in play well on this near touchline. Hwang's made a run into the area. Spotted. Hwang tries to guide it down for João Gomez. Cleared away by Bentancur, but only finds Ait Nouri left-hand side for Wolves. 30 seconds of normal time to go in this first half. 1-1 the score in what's been a really seesaw first half in North London. Beergaard gets dispossessed by a doggy. Good foot in by the Spurs left back, and Son trying to atone for the error, having his penalty saved. Son up to the edge of the area, tries to drive, and he's blocked brilliantly by the retrieving challenge from Matt Doherty, his former teammate. Got a foot in when it looked for all the world that Son was going to unleash a drive from the edge of the D. 1-1.
It's a brilliant tackle from Matt Doherty. Just followed Son all the way in from that left wing position. Son's getting onto his right foot, edge of the D. Perfect time tackle.
And we're moving into added time. 3 minutes of which have just begun. Long ball downfield by Doherty. Holds his arm up apologetically. Hit it too long and too straight. Exeter 1, Crawley 4. Now in League 2. Rob Elliott's doing a good job down there at Crawley, having not long taken over there at the Sussex club.
Yeah, buying into his ideas, taking them on board, a little bit like we're seeing here, Dance, with Wolverhampton Wanderers with Vitor Pereira. So Wolves have come here with intent to try and win the game. Big opportunity for Spurs. And I mentioned, you said that Son didn't make eye contact, did he, with Jose Sarr?
Deliberately so.
But I think it was his run-up that gave it away. When you arc your run-up that way, you can't open your body up to go to Sarr's left, and Jose Sarr just gambled and guessed correctly. It was a brilliant save low down to his right-hand side.
So it stays 1-1. Solanke, great run. Oh, he's clipped on halfway by Semedo. That's surely going to be a yellow card for the Wolves number 22, and indeed it is. So he follows Beergaard into the book, does Nelson Semedo. And Spurs have a free kick just inside the Wolves half of the field at 1-1. Reading 1, Mansfield 1. Will Evans equalises for the Stags right on half-time. at the Select Car Leasing. One last chance in this half maybe for Spurs. Son bursting down the left-hand side of the box, tries a cross, it's deflected away to Udogie, trying to sneak it in field for Kulusevski. Now Bentancur gives it back to Kulusevski, who's at the left-hand corner of the penalty area, drives at Doherty, then checks his run, still has it Kulusevski, little reverse ball looking for Udogie, but cleared away by Semedo doing his defensive duties that time. Back to halfway it goes. We played 2 minutes of the minimum 3 of stoppage time that have been added on by Chris Kavanagh at the end of this first half. Here's Bentancur, who scored the equaliser. Finding Porro, gives it back to the Uruguayan. Good run from Bentancur. Cunha's trying to stay with him. Feeds it into Brennan Johnson. Little touch trying to get Kulusevski away in the box. Angles tight. Checks onto his left. Rolls it back for Johnson. Fantastic goal from Tottenham Hotspur. Kulusevski and Johnson combined quite brilliantly down the right-hand side. Somehow Kulusevski kept his feet inside the box and had the presence of mind to roll it back to Brennan Johnson, who fired it home for his 7th Premier League goal of the season and putting Spurs in front, having been behind right on the half-time whistle. It's Spurs 2, Wolves 1.
Johnson says to Kulusevski, it's always better when we're together. Brilliant link-up play. It's Bentancur's involved. It comes into Kulusevski. Bentancur just rolls it out to Brennan Johnson. Brennan Johnson, a little give and go with Kulusevski. Kulusevski gets himself, checks back from his right foot onto his left foot. Brennan Johnson follows his run into the 18-yard box. Just smashes the ball low down to Jose Sarr's left-hand side. That's Brennan Johnson's 7th goal in his 7th game here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in all competitions, and it puts Spurs in front just bang on half-time.
A bit of applause from Ange Postecoglou for that move, and it deserved it because those two combined so well. So Spurs are in front. Might have had a penalty saved, but they've hit the front and the referee blows the whistle. That was pretty much the last action of a really terrific 45 minutes here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Spurs go in front, but as usual they fell behind at home. There was a free kick routine for Wolves at the edge of the area. Hwang Hee-chan bent it from the edge of the D, round Forster and in off the post to make it 1-0. But Porro's corner on 12 minutes found a firm header at the near post from Bentancur to equalise. Then a minute from the end of the 45, there was the foul on Johnson that led to Son's penalty saved by Jose Sarr. But Spurs were not to be denied a lead at the break. Brennan Johnson firing home after great work between him and Kulusevski, bringing us a half-time score, and who knows what could happen in the next 45 plus. It's Tottenham Hotspur 2, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1.
Thank you, Ian Danter, Perry Groves alongside Ian. We said before the game we were expecting entertainment. We were highly entertained there, but as we've already said, Spurs going behind again early on at home. It's not the way to start a game because you're always clawing your way back.
Yeah, very much so. It puts you on the back foot. I have to say that Wolves have gone obviously 2-1 down, but they've come here with the intention to try and win the game. They haven't come here just to sit back and hit Spurs on the counter-attack. They've actually dominated possession, just I think with like 52% possession, which is unusual for Spurs. They're normally the team that dominates possession. And Wolves went in front. It was a brilliantly crafted free kick over on Wolves' right-hand side of the 18-yard box, and it was well crafted because there was 3 players around the ball, Cunha, Andre and Ait-Nouri, and then all that happened was then Cunha just touched it, Andre then rolled it to Ait-Nouri. Everybody thinks Ait-Nouri is going to bend it with his left foot, and all he does, he just plays it square across the 18-yard box, across the D, and then it's Hwang Hee-chan who comes from the left-hand side in a like cunning disguise, just bends his run, and then with his right foot from the centre of the D, he just bends it inside Fraser Forster's left-hand post, in off the inside of the post, goes in. So brilliantly crafted free kick. Spurs were on the back foot and they just fell asleep completely, and Wolves deservedly went 1-0 up.
It's one of those ones where you were looking at the 3 players around the ball wondering which one would be taking it, and it was the one that you didn't expect that was coming around the corner. So a great finish from Hwang. It was kind of placed into the corner there, just bent around, hit the post and went in, but Tottenham hit back pretty quickly there with Bentancur. A great header, another set piece goal in this game.
Yeah, very much so. From Spurs' right hand side, Pedro Porro took the corner, and there was 3 Spurs players lined up on the penalty spot, 1 blocked. Bentancur then just bends his run around, Craig Dawson couldn't do better as a centre-half on the edge of the 6-yard box, and it was Andre who I thought was more culpable because he actually ducks. You've got to make sure a bit braver, even though he's not the biggest. You've got to go and try and attack the ball and be physical. He ducks out the way, and all Bentancur does, he just redirects it. He uses the pace of Porro's corner when it's whipped in, just redirects it with his forehead and gives Jose Sarr absolutely no chance. Left in the back of the net. Spurs get themselves back in it 1-1.
Yeah, and for the penalty that Brennan Johnson won, I thought it was smart from him, given that he was running with 2 players around him, and it didn't look like he was likely to get a shot on it. It was looking hard for him to even find a pass there. But to do what you said there on commentary and just put his foot in the way and let Andre make a decision there and make the wrong decision to give them a penalty, that was smart from Brennan Johnson. Obviously, he's now gone on to score Tottenham's second, but Tottenham equally could have missed that penalty and could have been hit by Wolves, but they've managed to get that second goal. So going into the second half, they're going to be the team feeling good about themselves, whereas I was wondering whether Wolves were going to feel buoyed by the fact that they'd stopped that penalty.
Yeah, it was a brilliant save from Jose Sarr, low down to his right hand side. Brennan Johnson did what we know in trade now as the Anthony Gordon, where you put your foot across the defender. Andre doesn't need to make the tackle. He as Brennan Johnson's left foot goes across him, Andre's right foot catches the back of him. Chris Cavan, the referee, gave himself a little bit of time, a little bit of breathing space, and quite rightly gave the penalty. It's never going to be overturned because obviously we've got the referee's call. And as Dan said in commentary, Son didn't make eye contact with Jose Sarr because he didn't, want all the housery that was going on. But because of the arc and the angle of Son's run, then as he's arced up to it, there's no way he can go other than across himself, low down to Jose Sarr's right hand side. Jose Sarr gets right, full left save, and then Brennan Johnson bang on at half time. Brilliant move with Bentancur Kulusevski. Kulusevski goes on the underlap, Brennan Johnson rolls him in. Kulusevski then cuts back, takes his time with his left foot, he just rolls it back into Brennan Johnson's path and he smashes it past Jose Sarr, giving him no chance. So you have to say Spurs have done brilliantly to get themselves back in front, and all the Spurs faithful go in happy with their pies and their pints at half time.
Yeah, they're reverse poured pints here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, which still fascinates me a couple of years after people were actually interested by them. Half-time score then, Tottenham Hotspur 2, Wolves 1. We'll go through all the Premier League half-time scores shortly, but let's look ahead to tonight's Premier League action with Sky Sports.
Stay ahead of the game on Talksport 2 with Sky Sports. Stream the biggest Premier League games, available with no contract, on now. Like West Ham versus Liverpool live today. Search Now Sports 18+ through via internet, terms apply.
So we've got West Ham versus Liverpool coming up later on. Ian Abrahams is watching that one for Talksport afternoon. Ian, it's going to be an interesting one actually, after West Ham got 8 points from a possible 12 over the last few games. It seems like Lopetegui's kind of pulled things back a bit.
Absolutely. By the way, I'm absolutely dumbfounded by the fact that a man who deals in the high tech and high pressure and high sort of speed world of Formula One and all the gadgets they have thinks that pouring a glass of beer from the bottom upwards is the strangest thing you've ever seen, John. But there we go.
I mean, like, I've never seen it. I've never actually seen it in real life before. I've only seen videos, and in person, Ian, it's quite a thing to marvel there. What did you make of that win on Boxing Day?
I was only kidding with you, mate. Yeah, I mean, listen, it was only 1-0, but it was an important victory for West Ham. Jarrod Bowen is their key man. There is no doubt about that. But this is a real test today. Without their goalkeeper, Lucas Fabianski was taken off with concussion down at St Mary's. And you look through the West Ham team, okay, you know, Paqueta will come back in today. Fulcrum, who has played the last couple of games, doesn't really look like a proper number 9 at the moment for West Ham. I mean, he's got time to change that, obviously. But I think that is an area they do need desperately to strengthen during January. Behind him is fine, but you can't keep relying on the goals of Jarrod Bowen and to a certain extent Thomas Souček. And today, with the leaders in town looking to build the best part of a 10-point gap, I would think West Ham have got it all to do.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a pretty decent lead for Liverpool then, obviously. A gap at the top is always something you want, and having it this earlier on is probably something that Arne Slot is very much happy about. I mean, they can really accelerate things here as well if they do get the victory. I mean, at the moment, with Nottingham Forest winning at half-time, Nottingham Forest are second in the table with 5 points behind Liverpool. If Liverpool were to win this, they get to 45 points, then look down at Arsenal, 36 points. This is kind of me slightly discounting Nottingham Forest as a sort of title challenger, but I mean, if things go on for the next few months, then who knows? it's a real sort of, I mean, the momentum has been great for Liverpool this year, but to have that kind of gap going into the new year is going to be massive for them.
Yeah, I mean, listen, in all sport, the one thing you need is for somebody to keep the leaders or the leader, you know, the person or the team that are out in front honest, and to keep them up to their game so they don't drop off because it's becoming too easy. And in the last few years, although Manchester City won the league, you know, we haven't had that. We've had that bit of jeopardy and uncertainty going right almost towards the end of the season. We don't want the title wrapped up by the end of March, beginning of April. But at the moment, as you rightly say, I mean, Arsenal don't play until Wednesday, New Year's Day at Brentford. Now, you know, that's the first time in a while where Liverpool have gone first and Arsenal have gone second. And if Liverpool do win as expected here today, that does put massive pressure on Arsenal to go and get the job done at Brentford, because you look at it and you think, you know, Arsenal really can't afford now to drop any more points. Mikel Arteta has been saying that pretty much for the last month. They've got to nearly be perfect between now and the end of the season. And don't forget, Liverpool still have a game in hand, the Merseyside derby at Everton. So, while not an easy game, they've still got that up their sleeve. So, at the moment, I would much rather be in Liverpool's camp. But we do need the teams behind them to keep winning games, because otherwise they could be over the hills and a long far away.
Yeah, there we go then. West Ham 13th place, Liverpool leaders in the Premier League. That one coming up a little bit later on. That was a look ahead to this afternoon's Premier League action with Sky Sports. Don't forget, you can stream the biggest Premier League games available with no contract on now, like West Ham versus Liverpool live today. Just search Now Sports.
Stay ahead of the game on Talksport 2 with Sky Sports. Stream the biggest Premier League games available with no contract on now, like West Ham versus Liverpool live today. Search Now Sports. 18 plus. Stream via internet. Terms apply.
Second half commentary coming up from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Tottenham 2, Wolves 1 at half-time. And next up here on Talksport 2, we'll take a look at the half-time classifieds.
Game day exclusive on Talksport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever the mission, home or away, Enterprise helps over 120,000 people every day.
You don't just check in to a village hotel. You work out. You jump in. You play on. You tuck in. And drink up. Village Hotels. 33 locations with everything under one roof. A huge gym with pool and great membership opportunities. And a buzzing pub and grill with delicious food, ice-cold beers and live sport. Check out villagehotels.com and work out, stay, meet and play.
You could skydive out of a plane or swim with sharks. You might even skinny dip in icy cold waters. Or you could get that inexpressible high, that guaranteed rush from finding just the thing you wanted, the thing you needed, at a great sale price. Winter sale ends soon. IKEA, the wonderful everyday.
We all fantasize about our perfect home. Watching the big game cozied up in the snug. Balmy summer nights with the kids playing on the lawn.
We're playing real-life football!
But come on, this isn't real. Listen, if you're serious about making your fantasy a reality, find out what your home is worth instantly with a free online valuation estimate. Get real about moving. Get on the market. Most common time to obtain an online quote between 1st of April 2024 and 30th of June 2024 was under 3 minutes. Excludes Northern Ireland.
$1.39 at McDonald's gets you a delicious cheeseburger. $1.39 at a concert gets you... Testing. McDonald's Saver Menu. Actually get your money's worth. From 11 a.m. Price and participation may vary. Price varies on delivery, subject to availability.
Football is back and it's game on. Get the ultimate football coverage with the Sun's free pull-out goals. With the best writers pitchside for in-depth match reports, it's all about goals. And with unrivaled news from the Premier League to League Two, it has to be goals! Stay up to date on all the latest football action. Get your free copy of Goals every Saturday, Sunday and Monday, only in the Sun.
The Screwfix sale is now on and it's huge! Save a huge £30 on the DeWalt 18-volt inflator cordless, now just $19.99. And grab the aluminium 6-step platform ladder for only $59.99, saving you a huge 10%. Sale ends 5th of January. It's huge. Delivery fees may apply. Subject to availability. See screwfix.com for full T's and C's.
Game day exclusive on Talksport 2 with Sky Sports. Stream the biggest Premier League games available with no contract on now. Like West Ham versus Liverpool live today. Search Now Sports 18 plus in our internet. Terms apply.
Hard-hitting football coverage.
He hits it first time. What a volley, what a goal.
Pushing the apex of live football.
The Premier League live on Talksport 2.
This is Game Day.
Half-time classifieds.
Is Game Day exclusive here on Talksport 2. I'm John Jackson. Second half between Tottenham and Wolves coming shortly. First though, let's take a classified check on the half-time scores, starting with
Premier League.
Erling Haaland's just made it. Manchester United 2-0 up at Leicester City in the 74th minute. It's currently half-time between Palace and Southampton. That one is 1-1 at the moment. Everton 0, Nottingham Forest 1, half-time at Goodison Park, and Fulham are 1-0 up against Bournemouth. Here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, it's Spurs 2, Wolves 1, and later West Ham take on Liverpool at 5:15.
Sky Bet Championship.
Results from earlier games: Norwich 1, QPR 1, Preston 3, Sheffield United 1, and in our commentary game here on Talksport 2 it was Sheffield United 1, West Brom 1. Half-time scores at Ewood Park: Blackburn 0, Hull 0, Bristol City are 3-0 up at the start of the second half against Portsmouth. It's half-time: Coventry and Millwall 0-0 there. Oxford United are 1-0 up against Plymouth as the second half begins there. Goalless between Stoke and Sunderland at the break, while Swansea City and Luton are currently 1-1 just starting the second half there, and Cardiff City are 2-1 up at Watford as that one just resumes for the second half. Don't forget Derby versus Leeds is exclusive on Talksport from 5:45pm, and then later on the 8pm kickoff is Middlesbrough versus Burnley.
Sky Bet League One.
It's Charlton 2, Wycombe 1, a result from earlier on in League One. It was 1-1 between Rotherham and Stockport County. At half-time at St Andrews, Birmingham City 0, Blackpool 0. It's Bolton 1, Lincoln City 0 at half-time. Exeter 1, Crawley 4 down in the southwest at half-time. Burton Albion 1-0 up at Huddersfield. Leyton Orient are 1-0 up ahead of Cambridge United, while it's goalless between Peterborough and Barnsley. 1-1 at half-time between Reading and Mansfield. Goalless between Shrewsbury and Northampton. Stevenage are 1-0 up against Bristol Rovers, and it's goalless in North Wales. Wrexham 0, Wigan 0.
Sky Bet League 2.
Results from earlier: Bromley 1, Swindon 1. Carlisle United beat Accrington Stanley 2-1. At half-time it's Bradford 1, Chesterfield 1. Cheltenham are 2-1 down at home to Notts County. Colchester United are 1-0 down at home to Doncaster. It's 1-1 between Fleetwood and Harrogate. That one's just getting restarted in the second half. Grimsby Town 1-0 up against Port Vale, which is also resuming. MK Dons also 1-0 up against Crewe. Goalless between Salford City and Morecambe. Tranmere versus Barrow 1-1 at half-time, and it is goalless at half-time between Walsall and Newport. You're listening to Talksport 2, half-time here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Tottenham 2, Wolves 1. Perry, we talked before this game, we said that the benches have players that can certainly score goals. It feels like this game's been very fast-paced. We've been looking left and right more than if we've been watching the tennis at Wimbledon. Do you think the benches are going to have something to say, especially if Wolves can get an extra goal here?
Yeah, I think you'll probably look at maybe 15-20 minutes for the Moth Banner to make any changes, because it actually looks like Wolves might be making a change.
It looks like a couple of changes here at half-time. Let's head straight to Ian Dancer for commentary.
2 changes for Wolves, and one of those is Matthias Cunha going off, their most creative player. He's coming off. Jorgen Strand Larsen coming on for him, and Gonzalo Guedes is replacing Jean Rickner Beauregard, who was booked in the first half. Back underway at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Spurs will be attacking the north stand to our left-hand side in this second period in their white shirts with dark blue trim, dark blue shorts and white socks. Wolves in their change strip today of all purple, and so Spurs will continue with Forster in goal, Porro, Dragus in grey, Udogi, Bentancur, Bissouma, Johnson, Kulusevski, Son and Solanke. Now for Wolverhampton Wanderers it's Sarr, Doherty, Bueno, Dawson, Semedo, Andre, Joao Gomez and Ait Nouri, and it's now Guedes, Hwang and Strand Larsen in their attacking areas. Interesting couple of changes, Perry Groves. not least the fact that Matthias Cunha's presumably had to go off rather than
he must be injured, Dance, because he was in really good form in that first half. Every time it came to him, it looked like something's going to happen. So it might be precautionary, because it didn't look like he had, a really sort of serious injury. So Strand Larsen will just obviously go as the focal point up front, and Hwang Hee-Chang will just go to the left of him as one of the two players that play in the 2-10 positions.
Peterborough 0, Barnsley 1 early in the second half in League One. Donovan Pines for the Tykes. Spurs trying to get the ball out to Porro on the right hand side, and will keep the ball in play. So Manchester City 2-0 up at Leicester City, and there's about just less than a quarter of an hour to go at the King Power. That's live on Talksport right now. Haaland getting his first goal in 8 games. Hope Rory Jennings was listening to that after the garbage he came out with in midweek about the fact that he was right about Haaland all along. Never heard such tripe in all my life.
If you follow your football, you know that every centre forward throughout their career always goes through a little period of time where they're not scoring goals. And with Erling Haaland, Man City have been playing particularly poorly anyway, so he hasn't had the service.
Indeed. Salford City taking on Manchester City soon in the FA Cup. They lead Morecambe by a goal to 0 in League Two. Matty Lund. Wolves had the ball at the back with Santiago Bueno. Guides the ball back to Jose Sarr, and it was a short pass, and Solanke was nearly on top of the ball as it reached the goalkeeper. So Wolves player gone down off the ball. It's Johnson who collided with Craig Dawson. There was no foul, said the referee, but he just wanted to check on the condition of Brennan Johnson. It was a short back pass by Santiago Bueno, but Jose Sarr was alive to it. Couple of minutes gone in the second half. 1-1 here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
And that's about the fourth time that the ball's gone back to Jose Sarr, where he's either hesitated or the ball's been a little bit short. That time it was from Santiago Bueno, and he's had to clear it, and there's a little bit of panic that sets in, but Wolves haven't stopped playing out from the back. That's another different facet to the play from Gary O'Neill. They're being very brave in possession.
Son, left-hand side for Tottenham as they attack the north stand to our left. Tries to swing the cross in. Good block at the near post by Bueno, and it's out of play for a throw. And now Destiny Udogi's gone down off the ball, looking in some distress as Hearts go 2-0 up at Ross County in the Premiership. James Wilson with the second, and Ange Postecoglou must be thinking, what on earth next? Udogi not long back, and it's his right hamstring he's holding, I'm certain of it.
He just went to go on the overlap on the outside of Heung-min Son, and as you said there, Dance, then straight away, he wasn't actually at full pelt, it wasn't a full out sprint, he was probably going at about 3/4 pace, and then he just stopped, sat himself on the floor, and as you said there, it looks like he's just rubbing his left hamstring. So we're just getting a close up of him there. He's just stopped to walking pace and gone straight down on the floor.
Well, meantime, the PDC darts sees Callan Ridds 2-0 up on Dimitri van den Berg, the man from the northeast, having a brilliant tournament. A chance to go through and knock out another seed from those championships. There's a watch along going on right now on Talksport's Darts YouTube channel, and Destiny Udogi is going off, and there's a ready-made replacement for him on the bench, in fairness, in Sergio Reguilon, who hasn't featured this season, so making his first appearance of the campaign. Had 16 appearances on loan at Brentford last season. Udogi very slowly being helped off the field. Reguilon on to replace him as Spurs are forced once more for an injury replacement at 1-1.
Yes, Destiny Udogi's race, his run literally danced, because, as I say, he's just limping off. He doesn't look particularly good. He looks in a little bit of distress himself.
Well, he's not being helped off the field, but he's determined to walk of his own volition. Colchester 1, Doncaster 1. Lyle Taylor equalises for Colchester. Bolton 2-0 up on Lincoln J. Matete. Cheltenham are back level with Ross County. They were ahead and then behind. It's 2-2 there now. Ryan Bowman and Eberechi Eze has put Palace 2-1 up against Southampton early in the second half. 50 minutes gone here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Would you say that Destiny Udogi is walking hesitantly? Would that be the adjective you'd use?
There's certain adjectives I'm not allowed to use, otherwise you're taking me to court, apparently. So I'll just stick with awkwardly. Reguilon playing at left back, of course, coming on for Udogi in that position. It's worked back for Forster. He had a little injury scare in the first half. The Spurs keeper clears downfield. Bueno gets a strong header ahead of Solanke. Reguilon guides it down for Gray. Gray fires into the chest of Son. Lovely control from Son, and then Solanke tried to go through the legs of João Gomez, but the Wolves number 8 won it back. Bradford 2, Chesterfield 1 in lead 2. Anthony Sarcevic now down the left-hand side. Ait Nouri as Wolves come forward again. They're attacking the south stand to our right, the visitors, in this second period. That's normally them that Spurs like to head for. But Wolves turn them round, must have won the toss before kick-off. Here's Matt Doherty, once of Spurs. Out to Semedo, fires it back into his own half for Bueno. Leaves it again for Doherty. Made 71 appearances for Spurs between 2020 and 23 after having spent a decade at Wolves before that. Came back to Wolves on a free transfer last year. Now he's made 50 appearances in his second spell at Wolves.
So could you say it's the Robbie Keane derby?
Certainly there's some, yeah, that's fine, yeah, no, we can accept that.
Jamie O'Hara derby?
Well,
that stretch?
Let's not push it.
Darren Anderton derby, there's a curveball for you.
Yeah, Jamie O'Hara, of course, regular host of the Sports Bar on Talksport with Jason Cundy. Fulham 1, Bournemouth 1. Evan Nilsson equalises for Bournemouth at Craven Cottage. Motherwell 2, Rangers 1. Hamza Igamane gets a goal back for Rangers, who were 2-0 down at the break. 1-1 here on 2-1 here to Spurs, rather. Brennan Johnson with that late goal in the first half, putting Spurs ahead. And they're in possession with Reguilon, trying to ease it down the left-hand side of the penalty area for Kulusevski. Semedo hits it up in the air. Good strong header infield from Bentancur. Solanke trying to find a teammate, and then there's a foul. And Semedo has stayed down, holding his head, and the referee Chris Kavanagh says, get on the field, physios, and attend to your player. Meanwhile, Davis Keeler-Dunn has a second for Barnsley at Peterborough United. Back-to-back defeats for the Posh. Barnsley won 2 of their last 3, trying to get back up the table at League One. Semedo getting some treatment. So Spurs 2-1 up, 8 minutes gone in the second half, and the atmosphere around the stadium is, well, for the moment, all is calm, Perry Groves.
Yeah, I think obviously the Spurs fans have had their pint and pie at half-time. You know, obviously a lot happier going in than what they were after 7th minute when Hwang Hee-Chang put obviously Wolves 1-0 up, and it's been a really good game, Dance. It's had a good flow, isn't it? It's good. It's gone from end to end because Wolves have come here with ambition, obviously coming and trying to win the game. Spurs, they're not reacted really well. Then they had the disappointment, obviously missing the penalty from Son. Brilliant save from Jose Sarr down to his right hand side, where it looked like Spurs were going 2-1 up at half time, and then we had 4 minutes of added time, and then Spurs got themselves in front with a really good move between Bentancur, Kulusevski and Brennan Johnson, who got his 7th goal and his 7th appearance here on the trot at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And just probably on the balance of play, Spurs probably just edged it in that first half with the amount of chance they created. And it'd be interesting to see how Wolves can go now without Matthias Cunha, who was very, very good in that first half. We'll see Guedes has come on and plays on the right-hand side behind Strand Larsen, who's come on as well, and Hwang Hee-Chang's gone over to that left-hand side. So Wolves, their flow has just been disrupted a little bit because everything going forward was going through Matthias Cunha in that first half.
2-1 to Spurs. Semedo still getting treatment. Derby County Leeds United will be live and exclusive on Talksport from 5:30 tonight. You've got Monday night game night tomorrow. Manchester United against Newcastle United. Adrian Durham at Old Trafford from 7 p.m. on Talksport. Sam Matterface and Danny Murphy. And then when we get to New Year's Day, Wednesday night, Sunderland Sheffield United in the Championship. That'll be a great game at the Stadium of Light. And then we're back here next Saturday on game day. Newcastle United are the visitors for the lunchtime kickoff. That's live on Talksport. Reshman and the team here from 11 a.m. And next Saturday, wow, Blackburn against Burnley. Always a very, very high octane occasion.
You know, when you talk about rivalries, my ex-brother-in-law Andy Farrell used to play for Burnley. He's now on their coaching staff. You never get Burnley or Blackburn like split families, you know, where one supports the other. It is proper. I wouldn't go as hatred's probably a little bit too strong, but there's a very vehement dislike for each other.
It's very nicely put. MK Dons 1, Crewe Alexandra 1. Jamie Knight-Labelle equalises for Crewe. Stevenage 2-0 up on Bristol Rovers. Jordan Roberts and Reading back in front against Mansfield at the Select Car Leasing in League 1. Tyler Binden back underway. Semedo is about to be reintroduced. He's got back from his head injury. Larson heads the ball down infield, and it was a foul that brought down Guedes. So 2 substitutes combining, and Wolves have a free kick midway point of the Tottenham half, out to the right of centre, and a chance to work the ball into the box from the right hand side. Ait Nouri is the man that's going to take it. Spurs are defending as high as they feel they can, which is at the edge of the D, so 20 yards from goal. Ait Nouri, left-footed, to tease this ball into the edge of the area, looking for a Wolves head. It drifts beyond everybody and goes behind for a goal kick in the end. It was well watched by the Spurs defenders, and there wasn't really a Wolves player anywhere near that delivery.
Do you know what? It was a really good delivery from Ait Nouri, because all he's done is just fed it in with his left foot in that danger area, and not one Wolves player attacked it, Dan. So it was all just lined up on the edge of the 18-yard box and all on their heels.
Poor ball out from Dragusin, easily picked off by Ait Nouri down the Wolves left. Has it back, getting to the dead ball line, pulls it back towards the penalty spot. Brilliant interception from Bentancur, but he can't bring it away, and then a drive wastefully over from Santiago Bueno from way downtown, good 40 yards out. Means it's a Spurs goal kick, but that was needlessly given away in their own defensive third by the hosts, who still lead 2-1.
Yeah, it was good play on the left-hand side from Hwang Hee-Chang and Ait Nouri. Hwang Hee-Chang just releasing Ait Nouri down that left-hand side, gets to the byline, he's trying to be a little bit too clever and just pull it back and pick out a Wolves player, as you just be smashing it across the 6-yard box and creating a little bit of mayhem.
Song goes down and wins a free kick inside the centre circle. Oxford 2, Plymouth 0. Back to that in a moment, but here's Kulusevski as Spurs take the free kick quickly. Roll back to Son, who won the free kick. Kulusevski, left-hand corner of the penalty area. Support from Reguilon, thought about a cross, but then rolls it back into midfield for Gray. Celtic 2, St Johnstone 0. Kyogo with the second for Celtic. Shrewsbury lead Northampton. Big Aaron Pierre up from the back to give the Shrews the lead. Out to the right-hand side it goes, and Porro. That went out of play. It did go out of play. It's Premysław Płacheta who's got the second for Oxford against Plymouth at the Kazan. Remember, Gary Rowett got his first win for the club last time out. It was Oxford's first win in 8. Now they're up for back-to-back wins. Plymouth will be no win in 9. And what of Wayne Rooney as that run continues for the Pilgrims. 2-1 to Wolves, 2-1 to Spurs rather, but Wolves coming forward with Guedes. Neat touch from Larson allows Semedo into the game. Out to the left-hand side for Ait Nouri, but there was a foul off the ball by Hwang, who was trying to get Porro out the way. Spotted by Chris Kavanagh. Free kick to Spurs as we approach the hour mark. Spurs 2, Wolves 1, and the home side have a free kick at the edge of their penalty area.
That is absolutely ridiculous from Hwang, because Wolves have an overload on that left-hand side. It's a brilliant crossfield ball from Nelson Semedo over to Ait Nouri, and then Hwang just runs into Pedro Porro, thinks he's going to drag him out of the way. Chris Kavanagh, referee's probably 10 yards away. Just ridiculous.
That's the thoughts of Perry Groves alongside me, Ian Danter, here in North London. The skies darken overhead. Larson for Wolves, good ball out to the left-hand side. Ait Nouri's got space to gallop into. Gets into the area, still going Ait Nouri. Can he pull it back and find a teammate? Hits it against Porro, wins a corner for Wolverhampton Wanderers away to our right at the south stand end. 2-1 Tottenham.
Again, it's Ait Nouri causing all the damage down that left-hand side. Really good link-up play, comes into Strand Larson, holds it up, just rolls it out to Ait Nouri, just then comes back onto his right foot, checks back onto his left foot. Spurs get a couple of players over there to block it at the near post. Corner for Wolves over on the left-hand side.
Guedes is going to take it, a right-footed in-swinger in the southwest corner. Packed 6-yard box, full of players. In it comes, across the face of goal and hooked up in the air by Bissouma. Where's that going to drop? Left-hand corner of the area. Guedes has it again, takes a touch, moves it in field, strikes it goals, and it hits his own man. Offside flag's gone up anyway against Craig Dawson, who was the player struck by that ball that Guedes absolutely hoofed goalwards as hard as he could. An hour gone, Tottenham 2, Wolves 1. And Motherwell 3, Rangers 1, an own goal from Jack Butland. Rangers in terrible trouble up there in Scotland. Northampton equalise at Shrewsbury. Cameron McGeehan makes it 1-1. Wrexham lead Wigan by goal to nil in League One. Going well still the Dragons. Ryan Barnett, their wing-back, gets their goal. Vincent Harper's got a goal back for Exeter, who now trail Crawley 2-4 at St James Park. Free kick for Tottenham. Forced to the keeper. It's a diagonal. It's a poor free kick. He was looking for Son Heung-min on this near side, but he nearly hit his manager, Ange Postecoglou. Throw into Wolves.
That's one of them ones you say, just keep it on the planet, Forster. You've got a whole pitch to aim for, and he just snap hooks it with his right foot over to this left-hand side, goes out of play.
So Wolves have the throw. Semedo looks for Guedes, gives it back to Semedo, and then it's headed in field intelligently by Larson. Guedes has spotted Ait Nouri in space inside the area. Ait Nouri takes a drive, brilliant block, Pedro Porro. Out it goes, but only as far as Craig Dawson. Wolves have it again. Doherty stroked out, looking for Semedo, but with too much pace in it from Andre. And Ait Nouri had a massive chance. Perry Groves doing his usual pointing thing again. What have you spotted now?
What it is, Guedes is having a go at Ait Nouri because he took a touch, but it's a poor pass from Guedes, because if it's the right pace of pass, then Ait Nouri can come on and hit it first time, but because he overhit it, then it's rolling across Ait Nouri. He had to take a touch. And Guedes has got the audacity to give it the old hand signals, if to say hit it first time. And Ait Nouri said to him, if you roll it with the right pace, then I will be able to hit it first time.
62 minutes gone. Tottenham 2, Wolves 1. Forest have got a second at Everton. Everton 0, Nottingham Forest 2. Morgan Gibbs White on the hour. Cheltenham 3, Notts County 3. Great game at Wadden Road. Joel Colwill equalises for Cheltenham. Down in League One, Forest are going second. And John Jackson's remarkably impassive to our left-hand side with that news. It's almost like nonchalance. Change for Tottenham, a double change, triple change. Timo Werner, James Maddison and Pap Sarr all coming on. Son Heung-min is taking off the captain's armband. He's one of those that's making way. Yves Bissouma also coming off. So Werner on for Son. And Son is giving the captain's armband, I think, to James Maddison. Indeed he is. Sarr on for Bissouma, who's walked off on the other side of the field. And the other player coming off for Tottenham is Brennan Johnson, who scored the second that sees Tottenham in front at this point. And Johnson's going off on the far side of the field as well to allow Maddison to come on. So a triple change for Ange Postecoglou. He's been already forced into one change with Reguilon coming on for the injured Udogie. Celtic 3 up against St Johnstone, incidentally. Perry Groves.
Well, I said it's a surprise with Brennan Johnson, because I thought he was really live in the first half. Got brought down for the penalty. He obviously scored the second goal. And it's not the same old Son, is it, to be fair? Because I said before the game that, I think he's on the downward curve of his career. He hasn't had the influence on the game that I think Postecoglou would have liked. Missed the penalty. So you can understand a couple of the changes, but I don't get the Brennan Johnson one, unless he's, again, in the red zone or carrying an injury.
Timo Werner gets his first involvement, left-hand side, over the halfway line, plays it in field, looking for Solanke. Charged down by Dawson. 5 breaks to throw in the third set. It's still 3-0 in sets to Callan Ridge and the PDC Darts against Dimitri van den Berg at Ali Pali. Don't forget all of tonight's games in the third round. There's 3 matches live on Talksport 2 from 7 p.m. with Mark Wilson, Paul Nicholson and Chris Mason. Callan Ridge is just 1 set away from the last 16 at Ali Pali. Unseeded. Pap Sarr for Spurs, who lead 2-1 with 25 minutes to go. Fires it out to Kulusevski, right hand side into Solanke, lays it back to Kulusevski. Maddison drives it to the left hand corner of the box. Werner trying to get the ball on his right. It's teed up for Maddison at the edge of the area. Left footed drive well over the top. Good chance for Tottenham to extend their lead, but instead it's a Wolves goal kick. 2-1.
Yeah, Maddison getting involved straight away, playing in that 10 position with Kulusevski going on to the right hand side and Werner on this left. Great link up play initially from Kulusevski into Solanke, little layoff back to Kulusevski, comes out to Timo Werner, he rolled it to Kulusevski on the edge of the box, great little Cruyff flick to set up James Maddison, just gets the ball onto his left foot, can't get his knee over the top of the ball, just skies it high and wide over Jose Sá's crossbar.
And Andre's gone down now for Wolverhampton Wanderers inside his own penalty area, so he needs some treatment. Motherwell 3, Rangers 1. That Jack Butland own goal was ruled out, but Tony Watt, former Celtic man, he'll have enjoyed that, has made it 3 for Motherwell anyway. Bolton 3, Lincoln 0 in League One. Jay Matete with the 3rd for the Trotters. What a game at Whaddon Road. No sooner was it 3-3 between Cheltenham and Notts County than Notts County get a 4th, Sam Austin, making it 4-3 down there in League 2. So in the Premier League, here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, it's 2-1 to Spurs. Manchester City have beaten Leicester by 2-0. Crystal Palace 2-1 up on Southampton. Forest 2-0 up at Everton. Fulham and Bournemouth 1 apiece, and West Ham Liverpool kicks off at 5:15. And there's a change coming up for Wolverhampton Wanderers. I think it's Tommy Doyle that's going to be coming on. Liverpool will stay top, but with this win, Nottingham Forest will go second, 5 points behind Liverpool, but they will have played 2 games more than Arne Slot's men. St Mirren 1, Dundee 2 in Scotland. Simon Murray for Dundee. St Mirren, who beat Rangers last time out. And still treatment for Andre inside his own penalty area. Midway through the second half, but I think there'll be a fair amount of stoppage time to add on. You're listening to Tottenham 2, Wolves 1 on Talksport 2 with Sky Sports. Don't forget, you can stream the biggest Premier League games available with no contract on now, like West Ham versus Liverpool live today. Just search Now Sports. Changes going to have to be made. Jose Sá's just indicating to the Wolves bench that they're going to have to get Tommy Doyle on sooner rather than later. And Andre's being led behind the goal to the left-hand side. Doyle is stripped and ready and wants to come on. Vitor Pereira wants him to come on, or has he forgotten something? He's just trotted back to the bench. Play's going to have to continue with Wolves down to 10 men for a moment.
Do you want my inane stat of the day?
You've always got one.
You said that Nottingham Forest are 2-0 up at Everton.
Yes.
They beat Liverpool earlier on this season. They've not won away against both Merseyside sides in the league since the 1800s, 1898-99.
That is pretty inane.
Thanks very much.
It's good though. It's good inane.
Johnny will love it.
If there is such a thing. Johnny's trying to be all blasé about it. He's trying to,
it's what we do, mate.
It's
what we do.
Yeah, he's trying to do the Hans Postecoglou. Ball's out of play. Wolves have a throw. They can make the change now. So they're back to 11 against 11. Tommy Doyle on to replace Andre in midfield. Manchester City Academy had a good season at Sheffield United when I saw him play in the Championship. Initially loaned to Wolves in 2023. He's just a couple of appearances away now from 50 in a Wolves shirt. So he's on in midfield. It's a straight swap really in that central area where Andre was playing. So just over 20 minutes to play. Wolves 2-1 down. Semedo down the right-hand side, approaching the south stand end that they're attacking. Gets to the dead ball line, hits it against Reguilon and has won a corner kick, indicated by the assistant down to our right-hand side. 2-1 Tottenham.
Again, it's Wolves just pressing high. Nelson Semedo on this right-hand side, right wing-back. Ain't Nouri on the left-hand side, but Ain't Nouri now come over to take the corner kick, in-swing with his left foot. It looks like they're going to have, again, nearly every outfield player in the 6-yard box.
In it comes from Ain't Nouri near post. It was Dawson who made a run across the line, who tried to flick it goalwards, but got too much on it, really, and just headed it straight out of play for a Spurs goal kick. Forster has got 2 options for a short goal kick. Gray and Dragusin, the 2 centre-halves who've stayed inside the area. But he's going to take his time and place it instead. And he's been told to get on with it by the referee. He will book him. He's given it to Gray. Gray gives it back to Forster, chips it up into centre field, but it's comfortably headed in the air by Bueno, keeping it away from Solanke. Werner on this near touchline does really well to toe poke it forward to Solanke, who's sprinting clear down the left hand side. Not much support, gets into the area, tried to get onto his right foot for the shot and just was not confident about the shot, got it all wrong, and in the end it's a goal kick to Wolves. 2-1 Tottenham.
It's a brilliant break from Spurs. Wolves keep on a Spurs high line. Dominic Solanke getting himself in behind in the left-hand channel. As he's looking across, there's no centre forward there, and what he tries to do, Dance, is open his body out with his right foot. That gives Santiago Bueno the chance to get back and get the block in, whereas what he should be doing is cutting in diagonally, so that then he changes the angle, so Santiago Bueno then has a decision to make, and if he doesn't, then he's got to make sure he gets on his left foot to try and smash it across Jose Sarr.
Guedes for Wolves, fires it across to the left-hand side for Ait Nouri. Guides it down for Joao Gomez. Good football from Wolves, but in the end, Hwang can't find Larson with the through ball up to the edge of the area. Celtic 4-0 up on St Johnstone and Maeda, and Wolves have it again down the left-hand side with Ryan Ait Nouri, level with the edge of the Tottenham penalty area, feints to cross and then rolls it back to get Doyle involved for the first time. Motherwell 2, Rangers 2. Igmane with a second for Rangers. They were 2-0 down. Motherwell have had 2 goals ruled out for VAR, clearly, and Rangers might have snatched a point. Callan Ridge through to the last 16 of the PDC World Championship, thrashing Dimitri van den Berg 4-0. The Northwest well represented in that last 16 at Ali Pali. Not just Callan Ridge, but also Chris Dobie and Ryan Joyce, who got through yesterday. In all 3 matches tonight, including Gerwyn Price against Johnny Clayton in an all-Welsh affair, live on Talksport 2 from 7 o'clock with Mark Wilson, Paul Nicholson and Chris Mason. I'll be listening, so should you. Don't forget our Talksport Darts YouTube channel with bags of content, interviews and watch-alongs throughout the tournament. Tottenham Hotspur 2, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1 here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium with 72 minutes played. Leyton Orient get a second against Cambridge. 2-0 up now, Leyton Orient. Jamie Donnelly with the second. And a throw to Spurs on halfway for Pedro Porro to take. Solanke and Kulusevski up ahead, and Kulusevski receives the throw, tries to give it back to Porro, but quickly in with Joao Gomez to win it back. What's your feeling here, Perry? We've got less than 20 to go. Tottenham haven't really been breached by Wolves getting in behind them so far in this second half, or at least not yet.
The game hasn't had the tempo as it as the first half, but Wolves are still in it. I thought, that their flow would be stopped obviously by Mateus Cunha coming off, but the Wolves have been dangerous down that left-hand side.
Good flick on by Solanke, gets Pap Sarr away. Sarr, great run into the area. Can he toe poke it in for a teammate? Goes down before he can release the ball, and there was no foul. Spurs get it again left-hand side with Timo Werner, level with the edge of the area, approaching the left-hand corner of the box now. Little reverse pass, trying to get Reguilon in behind. First time ball should be a comfortable catch for Jose Sarr, and is. Fulham 2, Bournemouth 1. Harry Wilson puts Fulham back in front at Craven Cottage in the Premier League. Jose Sarr bowls the ball outfield to Ait Nouri, down the left-hand side for Hwang, who put Wolves ahead in this game in the 7th minute from that free kick routine. Now Joao Gomez for the visitors, lays it off to Doyle. Doyle in the centre circle, little through ball for Jorgen Strand Larsen, who held the ball up well initially, but then got the ball tangled under his feet. Spurs have won it back. Kulusevski, right hand side, motoring into the Wolves half of the field, tries to get past Dawson, and Dawson hits the ball against Kulusevski and wins a throw for the visitors. 2-1 Tottenham.
Yeah, just really unlucky there. Pap Sarr, good link-up play with Dominic Solanke, just getting a little flick on as he cut inside from that right-hand side. He got inside 2 Wolves players, just tried to get inside the third one, which was Craig Dawson, and in the end he ends up tripping himself up, catching his own feet. Went down. The Spurs fans thought it might be a penalty, but absolutely no chance.
You're listening to Tottenham 2, Wolves 1 on Talksport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever the mission, home or away, Enterprise helps over 120,000 people every day. Probably about half that number inside the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium this afternoon, as per. Barely a spare seat to be had. And there's 3,000 Wolves fans over on the far side of the field, hoping their team can get back into it. They wanted a throw, didn't get one. In the Championship, Blackburn 0, Hull City 1. 1 win in 15 for the Tigers, but Ryan Longman's given them the lead at Blackburn, who had been going really well, but failed to win their last couple. Throw into Tottenham. Reguilon to take it down this near side of the left, then fires it infield. Kulusevski brings it down superbly and keeps it away from Ait Nouri. Charges through the centre circle. Porro to his right hand side, receives it now. Gives it back to the Swede. Great run, Kulusevski. Two to aim at in the box. Can he find either of them? No, he can't, because he's well marshalled in the end, Kulusevski, by Ryan Ait Nouri coming back to do his defensive duties. Then Porro wins it back, runs into João Gomez. He plays a short 1-2 with Hwang. The League Two leaders Walsall are a goal up on Newport County. Another goal for Nathan Lowe. The Saddlers started the day 9 points clear after 5 straight league wins, and they're in front at the Bescott once again. 2-1 here, Tottenham. Quarter of an hour to go, just less than that, Perry Groves.
He had a great chance there, Kulusevski, to whip the ball with his right foot. Linked up really well, Pedro Porro, because you had Solanke and Werner in the middle dancing. It's a typical when you have the winger pan on the opposite side of his strongest foot, where he then cuts back onto his left foot. That gives Ait Nouri a chance just to come and nick it off of his toe. But to say, just coming up to 30 minutes to go, Wolves are still very, very much in this game.
Only one goal in it. Tottenham 2, Wolves 1 on Talksport 2. Game day exclusive. Derby Leeds to come exclusively live at tea time on Talksport. Long ball down the centre of the field, looking for Hwang. Well dealt with at the back by Dragusin for Tottenham Hotspur. Bentancur twisting and turning away from the attentions of Tommy Doyle. Does brilliantly, finds Sarr driving towards the halfway line. To his left now is Maddison. Maddison spots Werner, making the run down the left-hand side. Timo Werner into the area left-hand side, gets the ball on his left, across the face of goal, and Solanke can't slide in and convert. Stays in play, far side of the field. Kulusevski picks it up to the right-hand corner of the box, and Porro, he will send the cross into the box, and it's Werner with a swing and a complete air shot from Timo Werner from Porro's cross, but Spurs have kept it again. Reguilon's cross this time, Solanke with a header over the bar, and Solanke was so close to making the game safe for Tottenham. 2-1.
Dance, there was the little snapshot there of the good and bad of Timo Werner. Spurs work it brilliantly. Bentancur does a little pirouette, then releases James Maddison out to Werner, then he goes on the outside of Semedo. It's a brilliant cross with his left foot across the 6-yard box. Dominic Solanke comes sliding in, can't quite get his Inspector Gadget leg out just to slide it in the back of the net. Then it comes back out to Timo Werner, gets a chance on his right foot to volley it, then just misses the ball completely, and then in the end the ball goes out for a goal kick for Wolves.
And a double change for Wolves. They've brought on Rodrigo Gomez, who is a utility player, right back mostly, joined in July from Estoril, 21 years of age. They brought him on, and Carlos Forbes, who's a winger on loan from Ajax, has come on as well. Hwang and Dawson are the players that have been replaced by Vitor Pereira. 2-1 down, 12 minutes to go, plus what will be I imagine, a fair chunk of minimum stoppage time. So a double change made. Looking to see where Gomez is playing right-hand side of midfield. Forbes has gone across to the left-hand side. Larson still playing through the middle up top. Long ball downfield looking for Larson, but it's headed clear by Reguilon, picked up by Gonçalo Guedes, looking for Ait Nouri, always an outlet for Wolves down the left-hand side, tries to tuck it down the left-hand side of the box. Forbes, first involvement, gives it back to Ait Nouri inside the area, it's back to goal. Forbes has it again, rolls it infield for João Gomez, plays it through the legs of Guedes for Doyle. They're working it from left to right here, Wolverhampton Wanderers. Then they have to go back to halfway. Bueno plays the ball left for Doherty. Doherty will look left maybe for Forbes, but then steps infield, hits a diagonal, looking for Rodrigo Gomez. Two Gomez out there now for Wolves. João and Rodrigo, cleared away by Reguilon, only as far as Semedo. Inside right channel for Wolves. Grimsby 2, Port Vale 0 in League 2. Rodrigo Gomez, lovely deep cross, looking to the far post for Forbes, headed away by Porro, keeping it away from Forbes. Throw to Wolves down the left-hand side. 2-1 Tottenham, just over 10 to go.
Yeah, just Wolves just applying a little bit of pressure. Spurs sitting deeper and deeper. Obviously they know how desperate they are for the win.
Oh, now Doyle's been dispossessed by Solanke, sprinting up to the halfway line. Right, a challenge from Doyle. Lovely flick through for Kulusevski. Out comes Jose Sarr. Kulusevski round him, sent it goalwards, and Buego turns it behind for a corner kick. Santiago Bueno, right place, right time. to stop Kulusevski, making it 3-1.
Yeah, it all started because Tommy Doyle got himself caught in possession by Dominic Solanke. Brilliant reverse pass to the outside of his right foot, Solanke. Jose Sarr was never ever going to get there. He was in no man's land. I think Kulusevski actually could have come inside him with his left foot, goes on the outside right foot. Santiago Bueno manages to get the clearance.
Corner to Spurs. It's been worked short, but Maddison couldn't find Kulusevski. It comes back to Maddison anyway. Infield it goes to Porro. Now Bentancur lays it back to Sarr. Sarr just ahead of the centre circle inside the Wolves half. Into the last 10 minutes here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Spurs 2-1 up. Timo Werner looking to take on Doyle for pace down to the left-hand byline. Lovely cross, but straight into the arms of Jose Sarr. Wrexham 1, Wigan 1. Joe Hugill equalises for Wigan in League One with 10 to play. Now up to halfway, Matt Doherty lays it off for Doyle. Doyle uncontested, can stroke the ball out to the left-hand side, and Ait-Nouri. Now Forbes gives it back to Ait-Nouri. João Gomez comes short in field to receive it. Guedes calling for it on the right-hand side, receives it now, lovely crossfield pass to find him, flicks it down the right-hand side of the box for Rodrigo Gomez, tries to get the cross in, and it bounces up in the air. It's not going out for a corner, it stayed in play. Guedes keeps it in play, right-hand corner of the penalty area, running into trouble though, loses out in the end. Archie Gray will get to the ball first and put it out for a throw. Wolves players thought that had gone out for a corner, but the assistant, eagle-eyed, said no, wait, ball hadn't gone over the line completely.
Yeah, just again, Wolves applying the pressure with Rodrigo Gomez playing as a right wing back. Nelson Semedo's gone in as the right-sided centre half with Santiago Bueno as the middle centre half, and Matt Doherty left-hand side, and Ait-Nouri again over as the left wing back.
It's Perry Groves alongside me, Ian Danter here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Bueno goes in for a strong challenge. The ball breaks for Kulusevski on the right-hand side for Tottenham. Early cross looking for Werner. That's chested down by Semedo. It's currently Tottenham 2, Wolves 1. For the latest odds, head to William Hill, the official betting partner of Talksport 2's Premier League coverage, where right now you can get Tottenham to win 5-1 on, Wolves to win at 22-1, and the draw priced at 9-2. That's all thanks to William Hill. 18+. BeGambleAware.org is the website. 7.5 minutes of normal time to go. Wolves in possession with Ryan Ait-Nouri. Forbes start to make a run down the left-hand side, but not used, at least not yet. Back it goes to João Gomez. Diagonal ball looking for Guedes. Right-hand corner of the penalty area. Takes it down on his chest. It's awkward for him. It allows Werner to try and get back at him, but he's kept possession well, Guedes. Finds Semedo. Puts an early ball into the box. Forster comes out and claims well just ahead of his 6-yard line. 2-1 Tottenham.
Yeah, just too floated there from Nelson Semedo. He actually should have whipped it in first time when it was rolled back to him by Guedes, who did really well to just fight off Spurs' left-back Reguilon and just rolled it back to Semedo. Said he should be in it first time, takes a touch, and then he just puts too much loft in it. Then Fraser Forster comes out like picking apples off a tree.
Exeter aren't done yet at St James Park. Exeter 3, Crawley 4. Ryan Woods gets a third for the Grecians, and still just one goal in it here. Can Spurs hang on for a precious 3 points after all that they've been through of late and all the trials and tribulations and the criticisms that they have received? If things stay as they are, Spurs will go up to 10th, back into the top half of the Premier League. But here's Carlos Forbes for Wolves. Ait-Nouri on the overlap, left-hand side, drives it into the near post, and Forster just kicks it away at the near post. Decided not to go with hands and kicks it up in the air, and Spurs got it clear.
Lucky Gary Neville wasn't here, Dance, because he'd be wetting his pants away that Fraser Forster's just saved that with his left foot as the ball was whipped across the 6-yard box for Ait-Nouri. I don't know why Fraser Forster isn't actually diving out to his left-hand side. Just smashed it away with his left foot. Wolves managed to recycle. You can actually feel the tension, Dance, can't you, in the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, because obviously Spurs have lost 4 of the last 5 in the Premier League, 6 of the last 10. The Spurs fans and the players know how bigger last 5 minutes of normal time this is.
Forbes with the cross deep from the left-hand side. Werner forced to head it behind for a corner, knowing that he had Rodrigo Gomez behind him. So a corner to Wolves at the south stand end to our right-hand side. Peterborough 1, Barnsley 3 meantime. John Russell gets the third for the Tykes at London Road, and Ait-Nouri only now is going across to this near side, the southwest corner, to spot the ball down. Spurs zonal marking inside their 6-yard box, and 1 or 2 doing man-to-man jobs. Larsson's being watched by Sarr. Doyle making a run to the right-hand corner of the penalty area for a short routine, but Ait Nouri's going to drive it into that congested 6-yard box. In it comes from Ait Nouri. Held up in the air by Rodrigo Gomez. Tees up Forbes. Forbes goes for goal. Blocked by a forest of legs. And away come Tottenham Hotspur on the counter-attack with Solanke. But Solanke, who's being pressurised by Joao Gomez, but somehow stayed on his feet, Solanke, and kept the ball. And then the long ball downfield looking for Sarr, comfortably intercepted.
That was such a bad corner for Ait Nouri. That's the second time he's done it. There's 16 outfield players in the 6-yard box, and all you want to do is just help it in the 6-yard box because they're trying to pen Fraser Forster in. What does he do? Scuffs it to the near post. Spurs able to clear it fairly comfortably.
2-1 Tottenham, 5 minutes to go on Talksport 2. Doyle under pressure from Maddison. If he'd lost possession there, Maddison was away and clear from the halfway line, but Doyle still has it. 4 minutes of normal time to go. Bueno out to the left-hand side, and Ait Nouri, midway point of the Tottenham half, comes in field, plays a little reverse ball. Larsson near post, drives it into the goal. Fantastic! What a finish from Jørgen Strand Larsen, beating Fraser Forster somehow at his near post. The first touch was exquisite, and I do not know how he squeezed that in from that angle, but Fraser Forster must look at himself there surely and have Spurs drop more points at home. They thought they were home and hosed, but Wolves get themselves back level with just over 3 to play. It's Spurs 2, Wolves 2. How did that go in?
Dance, that's grand larceny from Strand Larsen. Wolves have just stolen a point from Spurs here at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Brilliant play from Ait Nouri, cuts in from that left-hand side. Little reverse pass into Strand Larsen, makes a diagonal run with his first touch with his right foot, kills it stone dead. As it just bounces up, Dance, he swivels and he smashes it past Fraser Forster, gives him absolutely no chance. I have to say, Dance, looking at it, the goalkeeper's at fault. He shouldn't be getting beat at his near post. It's actually gone past him at shoulder height, and it looks like Fraser Forster actually sort of ducked out the way. He should be staying like massive sort of star shape at his near post. As you said there, Dance, it's a brilliant finish from Strand Larsen. Gets Wolves back in the game at 2-2, Dance, and you could feel it. It was coming. You could feel the tension. Spurs dropping deeper and deeper. Well crafted goal for Wolverhampton Wanderers back in this game at 2-2.
And he hadn't scored this month, Jørgen Strand Larsen. That's 7 for the season for the Norwegian. 2-2. And time to play for either side to find a winner. Swansea 2, Luton 1. Miles Peart-Harris, not sure whether he's on loan from Brentford or whether he's permanent at Swansea these days, but he's got Swansea in front late on at the Swansea.com stadium. But all square here as we edge towards the end of the 90. What have Spurs got left? Now Sarr inside the area, right inside of the box, drives it near post, turned behind by Jose Sarr. Sarr against Sarr, but there was an offside flag anyway against Pap Sarr, so it's a free kick to Tottenham. Wolves rather.
Come Sarr.
Oh dear.
Really good save from Jose Sarr down at his near post.
Well, he didn't know the flag had gone up, nor did I, in fairness. Free kick to Wolverhampton Wanderers, 90 seconds to go. That's the Wolves fans you can hear making the noise, unsurprisingly. Away to the northeast corner on the far side of the field from us as Jose Sarr smacks the free kick downfield. Forbes giving chase up against Porro, gets past Porro to the dead ball line. Can he pull it back? It's turned behind for a corner kick. Amazing climax to this game. Suddenly Wolves believe that they can win it as Forbes got in behind Porro, but the cross was deflected behind. Corner kick.
Dance Forbes has looked really lively since he's come on. You said there, so just a long ball. This brilliant touch from Forbes just goes round the outside of Pedro Porro. He's just trying to whip the ball across the 6-yard box. In the end, it's blocked at the near post. Goes out for a corner for Wolves over on their left-hand side.
Tommy Doyle's going to take it. A right-footed in-swinger from Doyle. Larsen making a nuisance of himself, making a run to the near post. Goes to the far. Doherty heads it down, pushed away by Forster on his goal line. Now Rodrigo Gomez down the right-hand side. by the corner flag. Looked like he got a shove in his back from Werner. Goes down, no free kick. The assistant's right on top of it and sees nothing wrong with any of that. We're about to head into 8 minutes of added time. Doherty with a cross for Wolves, headed away by Porro, only as far as Doyle. Doyle hits it against Solanke. The ball bounces for Solanke just shy of the halfway line. Looked for Kulusevski, and Rodrigo Gomez got back that time with the challenge. And 8 minutes of added time has begun as Bournemouth equalise at Fulham 2-2. As it is here, Dango Ouattara making it 2-2, equalising for Bournemouth. And now there's a Wolves player still down, Rodrigo Gomez, I think it is, down by the corner flag to our right-hand side, and the referee, Chris Kavanagh, has pointed to his watch as if to say, this isn't going to make any difference to the time I've added on. I'm playing 8 minutes minimum. Get to your feet.
That was just like telling a naughty schoolboy off, wasn't it?
That's Guedes, actually, not Rodrigo Gomez. Saw the 9 on his back, but it was 2-9. Wrexham have won it against Wigan. Another late goal for Wrexham at the racecourse. Stephen Fletcher, the old stager. Wrexham 2, Wigan 1. Stevenage 3, Bristol Rovers 0. Grimsby 3, Port Vale 0. Lots of late goals around the EFL this afternoon and in the Premier League, where Bournemouth have equalised at Fulham and Wolves have equalised here 2-2 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. We played a minute of the minimum 8 that have been added on. Maddison for Tottenham rolls it back into the centre circle for Dragusin, and he plays it out to the right wing for Dejan Kulusevski. Kulusevski with a left-footed ball into the edge of the area, headed away by Gomez. Now Kulusevski again, across the face of goal. Saar with a header, it's wide. Got in at the near post in front of his defender, but couldn't control the header, and it goes wide of the post, and Wolves have a goal kick. Big chance for Tottenham to win it there, 2-2.
Yeah, as you said, big chance from Saar, just getting himself in at the near post. Actually, the ball just a little bit behind him. Great link-up play on the left-hand side, from right-hand side from Spurs. Little ball from Bentancur with the outside of his left foot, just playing it into Kulusevski. This time he whips it in with his right foot. Saar's getting himself across the near post, just tries to redirect it, and just wants a little glancing header, gets too much of a header, goes aimlessly past Jose Saar's near post.
Stoke, no manager, but winning late on against Sunderland. Ryan Shaw crosses in temporary charge today after Narcis Palat was sacked. Tommy Cannon makes it Stoke 1, Sunderland 0. Up there in the Potteries. 2-2 in North London. 2.5 minutes of added time gone. Wolves have possession, fired over halfway by Ait Nouri, asking Guedes to give chase. Poor touch in field, but Reguilon got away with it. It almost went straight into the path of Larson, who got the equaliser. Now Reguilon out to Werner, can't control it on the left wing. He was actually standing over the touchline as he tried to receive the ball. Always second favourite to get there. Throw in Wolves, 2-2.
Timo Werner looked like there that someone had tied his bootlaces together. He just couldn't get his feet sorted out. As it's rolled out to him, all he's got to do is square himself up and take it with his left foot. Tries to take it with the outside of his right foot, ends up going between his legs. That quells the momentum of Tottenham's attack.
Huddersfield 1, Burton 1. Michael Hellick gets a late goal back for the Terriers. Ball's back with Fraser Forster. Long ball downfield for Tottenham. Headed away by Joao Gomez. Now Solanke giving chase down the centre of the field, but Santiago Bueno there first to head it back to his keeper, 2-2.
I'm just looking at Fraser Forster dance. Obviously in goal for Spurs. I think he's at fault for Tran Larsson's equaliser at the near post. But he looks like he's got a plank down his back. He just looks like he can't move. He looks unbelievably stiff. It's like Herman Munster with like diving boots on.
Well, now Jurgen Strand Larsson's gone down for Wolves on the halfway line, looking across to the bench, and the physios are being permitted by Chris Kavanagh to come on and treat him. Oh, Exeter have equalised at home to Crawley, 4-4. What a game down there in Devon. Dimitri Mitchell equalises for the Grecians, and Jurgen Strand Larsson just getting some treatment, but of course he's going to have to go off for 30 seconds once he's had the treatment. And we are in the 95th minute, so we are going to play past 98, you can be certain of that. Derby Leeds live at 5:45. Our coverage starts at 5:30. Faye Carruthers will be your host. Joe Shannon and Adrian Clark your commentary team. That's over on Talksport. Leeds with a chance to go back to the top of the Championship. So with things as they are, Tottenham would only go up one place to 11th behind Brighton. Wolves would stay 17th, but would be 2 points clear of Leicester with the point they're getting here. 16. Leicester in the bottom three, lost at home to Manchester City today, live on Talksport. They'll stay on 14. Ipswich 12, Southampton 6. And Southampton were leading at Crystal Palace but are now losing 2-1. Ipswich not playing today. Larsson's just got back to his feet and will have to go off the field temporarily. Now, was that a deliberate ploy? Was he injured? It's something that's very difficult to police.
So cynical.
Well, they were talking about this on the Sunday edition this morning with Sean Custis and Henry Winter about this increasing desire of players to go down and get play stopped. And can it be policed and can it be got out of the game?
Do you know the way to do it? If you actually go down, you have to go off for 2 minutes, not 30 seconds, for 2 minutes. And then you'll see if players are legitimately injured or not.
Cheltenham 3, Notts County 5. Alassana Yatta with another for Notts County. Another great game down in the EFL this afternoon. We're back underway. Tottenham 2, Wolves 2. Reguilon nods the ball back to Forster, gives it straight back to the left back. 2 minutes of minimum stoppage time to go. Reguilon carrying the ball downfield. Larsson about to be allowed back onto the field for Wolves, but it's still 11 against 10 for a moment. Now he's back on. Reguilon playing the ball back to the edge of the area. Nobody there in Tottenham white, and Wolves get it clear. Oh, Rodrigo Gomez is clattered into by Bentancur, and that's a yellow card for the Uruguayan. Gomez is just getting himself to his feet right in front of his manager, and he was caught late.
It's a bad foul from Bentancur, Dance, right, as he slides in with his left foot, catches Rodrigo Gomez, but you know when he's not really hurt because he does a backward roll, a forward roll, then a side flip, and still keeps rolling up and down the touchline. As you said, goes past his own manager, Vitor Pereira. He must be looking at him thinking, all right, you've got us a free kick. There's no need to over-egg it.
Well, he's still down.
Dance, I'll hazard a guess that he's going to be okay.
How about the physios can come on and treat them whilst the game is
a bit of rugby league?
Yes. How about that one?
I think that would depend on where it is on the pitch.
So they'll make sure they drop down wanting treatment in the 6-yard box.
Exactly, yeah, so you have to stop the play. But why not give it a trial?
Free kick. Gomez is back on his feet, didn't need treatment. So we're about to tick round to 98 minutes, but there's no way we're done here yet. Goodness only knows how many more minutes Chris Kavanagh's going to feel he needs to add on after the 98 minutes. A second for Walsall meantime. Nathan Lowe's got a second, 2-0. Oh, Jose Sarr almost presented the ball to Solanke, and he's out of his ground. Ball's on halfway with Pap Sarr, but he couldn't turn and face goalwards to get a shot away. Solanke gets a foot in. Now Werner giving chase, but he's beaten to the ball by Tommy Doyle, who gets there just in time for Wolves. Clears it downfield, nodded up in the air by Dragusin. Sarr helps it into midfield, nodded forward by Porro, intercepted by Doherty. Drops in the centre circle, and Strand Larsen fires it out to the left-hand side, but Ait Nouri will struggle to keep that in play, and he hasn't. Throw into Tottenham 2-2.
Right, Dance, we haven't done our coaching badges, right? Game management. Nelson Semedo has a free kick on the right-hand side about 5 yards in his own half. Then why would you turn around and play it 40 yards back to your goalkeeper, who's been a little bit dodgy with the ball at his feet anyway? That enables Spurs to push further up the pitch. You hear the crowd, that gets the Spurs crowd going. That is absolutely ridiculous from Nelson Semedo. Just help it down the touchline.
We are beyond the 98 minutes. Spurs 2, Wolves 2. Werner down the left-hand side for Sergio Reguilon, giving chase. Semedo goes in for a challenge. It came off Reguilon last of all, says Chris Kavanagh. Goal kick to the visitors. And they will take their time over it, I assume. I'm assuming they're happy with the point that they're currently getting.
Well, I think the coaching staff should be saying to Jose Sarr, let's not try and play it out from the back where you play out to Santiago Bueno and then he gives it back to you. Then you then encourage Spurs to come and close you down.
Smash it.
Quite rightly, it's get up the pitch.
And he has told all the defenders to push up towards the halfway line. Spurs are about to drop more points in the Premier League. as Sa will smack it right-footed downfield, looking for Larson. Can't get the header on it, drops in the halfway line, and it's won back by Bentancur, lifting it over the top for Kulusevski. Jose Sa comes out, clears it right-footed, stays in play on this near side. Reguilon will let it go out of play for a throw-in. Fulham and Bournemouth have drawn 2-2. That's finished at Craven Cottage. Wolves trying to win the ball back down the right-hand side. Guedes hit it against Gray, and they've won a throw. Guedes was very nearly away down that right-hand side after a couple of slips from Tottenham players. Still we play on. 100 minutes played at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Throwing this with Rodrigo Gomez. Larson showing from down the line, so too is Guedes, headed away by Gray, brought down by Maddison just outside his own penalty area, turns away from Doyle. Good driving run from James Maddison, shrugs off Doyle and gets it to the halfway line. Now he's trying to set Werner away down the left wing. Werner, first time cross beyond Solanke. Ait-Nouri lets it run across his body, volleys it clear, and the offside flag was up against Werner anyway. Free kick to Wolverhampton Wanderers, 2-2.
Oh, that is so frustrating from Timo Werner, because it's brilliant play from James Maddison, just doing a lovely little pirouette, just leaving Doyle in his wake, just getting away from him, plays a great ball down the left-hand side. You should not be offside when you're looking right across the line.
And there goes the full-time whistle, and boos around the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium greet more drop points by Tottenham Hotspur. This time it's Wolves that come and frustrate, and they were ahead. An early Hwang Hee-chan goal from a free kick routine had the visitors 1-0 up on 7 minutes. Spurs were 2-1 up by the break. Bentancur's firm header from a corner, and then after Son's penalty was saved, Brennan Johnson fired Spurs in front right on half-time. But Wolves, in the end, were not to be denied. Their equaliser came 3 minutes from the end of normal time. Jurgen Strand-Larsen on as a substitute. Great first touch to bring Ait-Nouri's pass down, and then rifled it from a tight angle past Fraser Forster at his near post and in. And so the Wolves fans, the 3,000 of them over on the north-east corner opposite us, will go home the happier by far. It's an unbeaten start to life as management for Vitor Pereira. 2 wins and a draw, but for Ange Postecoglou, more head scratching and more what might have been for Tottenham Hotspur. It's finished at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Spurs 2, Wolves 2.
Thank you very much to Ian Danter. An exhilarating game, Perry. We did predict that this would give us entertainment. We've had entertainment throughout. Wolves pushing Tottenham all the way, but for me, Tottenham have had so many opportunities in that game. They had the missed penalty in the first half, and then there were decisions that they didn't make smart decisions in that second half, and then Wolves came back and they got that goal, and they've shared the points. They've dropped more points at home.
To be fair, I was very, very impressed with Wolves going 1-0 up through Hwang Hee-chan. Great free kick routine in the first half. Then in the second half, like Spurs get themselves 2-1 up. Bentancur header from a Porro corner, going 1-1. Then you said Son missing the penalty. That looked like the chance had gone to going 2-1 at half time. Then a brilliant work goal between Bentancur and Kulusevski, who cuts it back for Brennan Johnson to smash it past Jose Sa. Spurs go in 2-1 up half time. We say just probably about deservedly so. I thought in the second half it'd be interesting to see if Ange Postecoglou is happy with the questions that he's asked, because I thought Spurs were too passive in the second half. I thought you can understand the lacking confidence, losing 4 of the last 5, but I thought they sat too deep. Wolves, the substitutes did have an impact. Obviously Strand-Larsen getting the equaliser, but Guedes, he come on at half time with Strand-Larsen. They lost Matheus Cunha, and I thought that might stop their flow, but it didn't. And you could just tell the difference from this Vitor Pereira team to Gary Neal's team is that Wolves are far quicker in possession. They move the ball on quickly. They want to play out from the back. They want to commit players forward. And there is a confidence and a belief. You could tell this was a team that won their last 2 games, because even at 2-1 down, they kept pushing and kept pushing. And in the end, it was a brilliant goal from Strand-Larsen to equalise with link-up play with Ait-Nouri on the left-hand side. But I have to say, I have no idea what Fraser Forster's doing at his near post. He's what, 6'6", 6'7", and he actually, when Strand Larsen smashes it, that was like an outfield player who plays in goal, where he sort of moved his head out of the way, where if you should be a big star shape at the near post, and if it goes past you far post, then, well, hold your hands up, literally. He didn't. The ball actually went past his right shoulder. So it's poor goalkeeping, brilliant from Strand Larsen, and you have to say, in the end, the team that looked like they was going to win the game was Wolves, because understandably Spurs' confidence is lacking. They dropped deeper and deeper. You could feel the tension about the 80th minute, John, couldn't you? You could feel
all the game,
could feel the tension in the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, where it was like, oh, we got to hang on here, we got to hang on. And you would say that Wolves are well worth their point.
I mean, Ange Postecoglou said this. They're players that look like they're looking to impress a new manager. It's a new manager bounce. But to be unbeaten in the first 3 games, given what we've seen from Wolves so far this season, that's seriously impressive. There were moments, I thought, when they were playing out from the back, that perhaps they were risking it a little bit. There were a few moments where players were just getting the ball out from their feet, and it was a little bit tricky there. But when it comes to this game, it was entertaining for everyone watching. It's been entertaining for everyone listening here on Talksport 2. Where do Spurs go from here? Because they got a tricky game up next, Newcastle, in good form at the moment, and that'll be here on the 4th of January.
Yeah, you know, Newcastle to come full of energy. They'll play their 4-3-3 under Eddie Howe. Obviously the threat of Isaac, Jacob Murphy's in really good form as well, playing in the wide positions, and you have to match Newcastle in midfield, because Tonali's in good in form as well with Guimaraes. You can just tell that the Spurs players seem like they're looking for some inspiration. They're looking for some leadership. I was very, very surprised that Brennan Johnson came off at half-time. I hope, for Ange Postecoglou's sake, that he's carrying a bit of an injury and it was precautionary. Yeah. Because I couldn't understand why he was taken off.
It felt like some of the opportunities that Dominic Solanke got himself into, if that had been Brennan Johnson, then there might have been a different outcome, just with a slightly faster player and maybe making smarter decisions. There was the one where he opened up his body and that allowed the defender to remove the ball from his feet.
Yeah, well, that was when he come down the left-hand channel in the second half, and it breached the offside trap. And what you will need to do is you need to cut across on diagonal if you're right-footed. He doesn't. That gave Santiago Bueno, the Wolves centre-half, the chance to get back across, and instead of hitting with his left foot across Jose Sarr, you said he opened up his body, and then the chance was snuffed out. Sarr had a brilliant chance, brilliant cross from Kulusevski at the near post, where he just tried to redirect it. He should glance the header rather than getting a firm header on it. But I honestly, I don't think that Spurs did enough in that second half to warrant actually going on to win the game, because you could tell they're lacking that little bit of confidence. Son isn't the player that he was. I think he's lost that little bit of explosiveness. So they've stopped the rot. Obviously Spurs, they lost 4 out of the last 5, so they've got a point here, but going in half time at 2-1 up, when you're in the ascendancy, they would see it as 2 points dropped. And Wolverhampton Wanderers, I think that Vitor Pereira, the Wolves manager, will be disappointed maybe in the second half that his team didn't win it.
Yeah, you would feel that way. Anyway, time now for us to pick our man of the match with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
Man of the match on Talksport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Enterprise has vans of all shapes and sizes, so if you've got a plan, we've got a van.
Well, Perry, we've seen some decent performances out there today, despite there not being a winner in the game. Who have you gone for?
Well, mentioned dispatches. I thought Matthias Cunha was excellent in the first half for Wolves. I thought Brennan Johnson was very, very lively, got brought down for the penalty, obviously put Spurs 2-1 up going into half-time. I thought the 2 midfield players, Andre and João Gomes, were very good for Wolves in the midfield area, and Kulusevski always looks dangerous for Spurs as well, but I'm going to give it to Ryan Ait-Nouri, because I thought his general play was excellent. Obviously he's playing as a left wing back, he's always a threat going forward, and he got himself the 2 assists. Obviously the assist from the free kick, you say, is well worked, and it has to be the right sort of pace of the pass so that Hwang Hee-chan can come and hit it first time. And his assist for Strand Larsen was brilliant, because he comes in off the left flank, gets it on his right foot, rolls it into Strand Larsen, great first touch with his right foot, and then smashed it with his left. So I actually thought that Ryan Ait-Nouri was outstanding for Wolves.
Yeah, very well deserved, always getting behind the Tottenham defence there. That was our man of the match from today's game with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.